comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the. Here comes the.
Benson inside the 25, inside the 20, foot race to the pylon. Christian Parish. Through the middle, leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Parish.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the beautiful Anthony Field on the campus of Abilene Christian University here in Abilene, Texas. It's a beautiful day, clouds rolling in, but we are set for a little bit of afternoon playoff football as Parish Episcopal sets to do battle in a rematch against Midland Christian. This one, a little bit of deja vu for anyone that has watched our broadcast last year. This is the exact location that these two teams met last season, but a little bit different. Now we're in the state semifinals. It's going to be a good one. Last matchup was decided by a heroic drive with 4 points separating these two teams. But now we're going to take a look back at last week's win against Prestonwood Christian.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, E-double-L, I said so, I keep big bills up in my hood on the dirty like Bledsoe, ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful, and I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge, take the door off your bins, pop up off all of your friends, man, please. This shit ain't cynical, man, no subliminal, I'm physical, financial, and mental to be a general. Hey, the mama claims she want a soldier, not the type be in the tank, but in that rover. Man, please, I'm in the zone like AIDS full blown. I'm killing it like a blind man reading. I'm feeling it like, oh yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, he think he got her when he know he's off his butter. He ain't never been a fighter. You can go and ask his mother. I'm a lover and a fighter, producer and a writer. Give your girl a quick fix and give your man a nice shiner. You know y'all don't really want it, and I can tell just by looking at you that you decide to run and go and tell just by looking at you. You on a mission for recognition by dissing. Didn't have no problem till the record started breaking, but y'all don't really want it. So let me tell you the deal. I'm also serious, I'm dirty, I'm no longer for real. I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump, a clock grip on the pump, from leaving you in the trunk, somewhere prepared to dump. But y'all don't really want it, so quit acting like you're dead. I'm looking to my right, trying to see who's left. So you better watch it before I stick to the plan and be the next artist to run up in your stand. Like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it, man. Y'all don't really want it. Don't really want it. Y'all don't really want it with me. I know you shook, man. It's gonna sound like when I'm
Welcome in again, ladies and gentlemen, for the state semifinals as Parish is ready to have a good one. Midland comes into this game looking for a little bit of revenge, and we're here to give you all of the exciting news. We have a little bit of a change to the lineup tonight. We still have Emily Stone on the sideline, Jim Dixon joining me up here in the booth. I'm Jackson Donovan, but coming out of the cushion of his man cave to join us high atop Anthony Field is the great Forrest Baldwin.
Good afternoon.
And we're excited to have you.
It's a great day to be in the big country. Playoff football, can't beat it.
But we're getting ready for this one. It's a TAP semifinal game. Jim, looking at this one, it was heroics by Preston Stone that won the game in Midland earlier in the year. Is this one going to be another nail-biter, or do you think we're going to see the Parish team that we're used to and kind of run away with this one?
Well, if this thing's a nail-biter, Jackson, this is going to be a long afternoon. My expectation is that Parish comes out and takes care of business early, because if they keep hanging around with Midland Christian, it's going to roll into another situation where hopefully Midland Christian leaves them another 2 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock that they can dispose of quickly. But I think this is one that Midland Christian's been rubbing their hands together since they walked out of the stadium back in October.
Now, Forrest, looking at this one, the defense for Parish has really been the question mark this season. You have the highly touted defensive line with Malloy and Jones and Bodwin. But you look at this, for Parish, they've got 12 sacks on the year. We're looking at a Midland team who their entire playbook is to get rid of the ball early. How important is the pressure going to be up front?
Well, it's going to be very important to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, yeah, you look at Midland Christian, they're a run-first team, about 3-1 run to pass. So what we've got to have is that defensive line really step up. The ends have to contain. Midland Christian runs a lot of motion in the backfield, a lot of misdirection. Those linebackers are going to have to stay at home, find the football, and then I want to see those great Parish linebackers exploding towards the football and making those tackles. Midland Christian offensive line, very, very good. Very disciplined. They keep their pad level low, and in the game that we played out in Midland, you could see them moving our defensive line back, and that's got to be something that we can't have this afternoon.
That first matchup with Midland on the road was a big test for Parish. Nobody really, at least coming into the game, expected it to be that. It was almost a 40-point deficit win in the playoffs last season. This year, of course, completely different story. Midland came out, punched them in the mouth, and stuck with them all game long. It's going to be interesting here. Of course, it's an outdoor game. Temperatures are going to be around that mid to high 50s with the northern wind, but of course, with Preston Stone, the conditions shouldn't be too much to overcome.
No, not at all. I don't think the weather plays into this at all. I think it's just how these guys are going to manage what's under their hat and how they prepared this week. And I feel like Parish, after last week, certainly had something to build on going into this game.
Yeah, one of the questions I have is, what did they learn last week coming out that first half and really not playing Parish Panther football and then turning it back on? Did they learn from that? Or are we going to see a full-bore offense starting out?
It's going to be interesting. The defense really showed up in the second half in that Prestonwood game, but then, of course, pitched a shutout in the first half against Bishop Lynch. But taking a look a little bit around the league, the other TAP semifinal between Fort Worth Nolan Catholic and All Saints is being played today at 3 at Globe Life Field. But we're going to step away now for the playing of the national anthem.
Another blessed day and the opportunity to honor you. We come to you to ask for your health and safety of these athletes competing today. We also ask for the safety of fans and participants as they travel home today. We thank you for the ability to compete for a state semifinal championship. We are facing tough adversity in today's world, Father, and we ask for your continued strength as we battle through this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for all that you've given us. We ask that your presence would be felt today, and it's in your Son's name that we pray. Amen.
So just under 4 minutes before we are set to start the action. Again, Midland Christian coming into this game as they fought hard through the playoffs, ended up beating the number 1 seed out of District 2 in St. Thomas last week. That was a 21-7 win. But Midland Christian's really gone on a roll here to end the season with wins against Fort Worth All Saints, then St. Pius X in the first round, and then St. Thomas in the third. They've really gotten it going here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that what they've done is they've done a great job about neutralizing these high-flying offenses and basically have played their game and it's not brought these teams down to their level, but have forced their offense or forced their defense on them and made it where they're stepping out of their opponents are having to step out of their game.
Well, they run that ball control offense, Midland Christian does. And, guys, it's hard for the other team to score if they don't have the football. And when you're looking at a Midland Christian team that is running 60 plays a game and holding their opponent to 40, that makes it very difficult for the other team to get in the end zone.
On the coin toss, Midland won the toss. They will defend the north end zone. They have deferred to the second half. Captain for Parish out there was number 66, Joe Meharry. For the Mustangs, it was number 4, Colton Wolf. And so it will be the highly touted offense with Preston Stone leading the way, coming out first for Parish to try and get on the board early.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see them establish their offense from the get-go first series, and they're going to just basically ram it down their throats and keep them on their backs, and that's hopefully what they're going to attempt to do.
I think for me it's going to be interesting to see how they come out defensively, Midland Christian, and that essentially I think in the first game they knew they couldn't play man-to-man with the Parish receivers, and they rushed 3 linemen, and basically they were running a 3-8, rush 3 linemen, drop 8 back into defense in his zone coverage. What's bad about that is, if you're a Midland Christian fan, is Preston Stone is very good at reading the zone and finding the gaps in the zone, and the Parish receivers are very good in maneuvering their routes into those empty spaces within that zone. So, typically, pick them apart. That's what it comes down to.
It really doesn't help when you're a defense and you're facing a guy like Preston Stone. When you do drop that many back in coverage, you're expecting him to have, trying to take his time to find a read, but he's the number 4 dual threat quarterback in the country. He's got over 3,000 all-purpose yards this season. He's got 2,600 yards passing, 400 yards rushing, including 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a man among boys. I think the thing is with him is he's not looking down the field to the next play. He's looking beyond that, and he plays out of that, and plays very well.
The kick is away. Jai Moore is going to be back to return this one. He's going to take it up the right side. Still going. Has a blocker at the 50. Tries to get past the kicker. He does. Now 40. Cuts back again. 25. 20 and brought down. A long pickup on what was an interesting change on the kickoff team. Typically, you had Demery and Benson back there. That time, it was Youngblood back there as well, and Jai Moore with a huge return on the opening kick.
Yeah, he just got on the edge and went outside and took advantage of their lanes. They swung everything to the grandstand side of the field and took advantage of that.
And so into the game is the offense. Keegan Addison, as he was a little bit of an add-in to the scheme last week, he's going to be in at the H-back. This one will be a reverse to Benson. Good block by Addison on the outside. Benson cuts back up at the 15, wide open. Touchdown, Panthers! 11:39 remaining in the first. They score early.
Wow, that's the way to get started, isn't it? That is the way to get started in a semifinal football game.
It's just like rolling out and hitting the alarm clock.
Yeah, they lined up Addison over on the right side in kind of a heavy formation at that wing back. And I think defensively, everybody thought it was going to the offense's right side. Run the reverse, get it in the end zone. Well done.
Blaine Bowman on to kick the extra point. It's low, but it is good. Jim, taking a look at that drive, just not much of one. They gave it to Benson on the reverse, and Addison came in from the H-back and set up a great block to cut off the edge.
Yeah, he sealed the edge great, but that's not typically a look that they're going to show you. They don't really run, so to speak, gadget plays. They can pretty much come at you and say, we're going to beat you with the running game. We're going to run trips. They don't really try to misdirect you, and that's kind of unusual for them. Obviously, Midland Christian bid.
It's so important from a mental standpoint to get that quick score on the game, starting out in the game, get that momentum back on your side, get it rolling, get that confidence going.
Yeah, especially after the last game, Midland just never really went away. And when you were Parish at the time was the number 1 team in the state, not that you're expecting teams to fold, but Midland really came out and punched them in the mouth early. And right now, Parish is trying to kind of flip the script on them. Bowman will kick this one back. It's going to be returned. Back at the 10 is where the Mustangs will take over. Shooting upfield, but Partridge is there for the tackle.
I think the ball may come out.
Ball came out. Only question now, is he down first? No, it will go over to the Panthers. So a great return on the kick takes him to the 20. Benson takes it from there on one carry on the reverse, and now a fumble on the kickoff.
Wow.
We're going to send it now down to the sideline for a quick update from Emily Stone. Emily, take it away.
Hey guys, behind me or to the side of me, you can see this team being really excited about the play that just happened, but we are all excited to be here in Abilene. It is cloudy, about 55 degrees, but these boys are ready for some football, and so am I.
Thanks, Emily. Stone will come in with a 2 running back set. Gets it over to Youngblood quickly. A high pass, but good. Trying to get a block. No, a flag's going to go on that far side.
Yeah, wide receiver screen to the right. They give them that cushion, those receivers that cushion, set up that wide receiver screen. You're going to get a block in the back over on that side.
Yeah, when you have to come back on that, that's pretty much you're setting it up for the tackle or
The referee made a heck of a throw with that flag, though.
He was.
Yeah,
that line judge on the far side didn't call anything.
I could hear the Midland Christian fans when it happened. I think they were wanting that flag out a little quicker.
A little bit of a hold and a block in the back. That one called against, I believe, would be Nathaniel Hill on the outside. Still waiting for the official call. And now the Midland band is letting them hear it with the Jeopardy theme song, of course. Rest in peace, Alec. Of course, we got a lot of this. I think now the question might be just where the placement of the original foul was. It looked to be pretty close to the line of scrimmage, as it looks like they're playing around with the hash marks down there.
Yeah, when you're that far receiver, your goal is to block that guy coming up on you. And a lot of times what will happen is that defender will come up, and he'll spin around on you, and you end up looking at his back. And if you're still engaged, they're going to call that 9 times out of 10. But
now they have to go talk to the coaches to get a ruling. They're backing up the line back to the 36.
Yeah, and what you're to what Forrest commented on, I mean, what you're seeing is Midland plays very good fundamental football. They play defense with their feet, and if you miss that block and you got to come back on them, you're going to pay the price.
Clear technique-wise, especially in that game that we saw in person in Midland, technique-wise, Midland's going to be one of the best in the district, if not the entire state.
They are a very good coach football team, and you can see that on the field with the way they play the game. From their offensive line to their defensive line to their tackling fundamentals, they are a well-coached football team.
Still waiting for, I think they're trying to get the chains out now.
Did we not have chain issue somewhere?
We haven't really needed them this far into the game.
Yeah, I guess it's the first time we brought them out, isn't it?
Thus far, so.
I don't think we have anyone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're getting people out of the stands.
We got the dead man stick on the other end of that one.
Nope, we just had someone volunteer.
And for a game like this, well for all the district games, you have an official chain crew out there, and not a group of parents that are going to run the chain, so that's free.
Yes, but I don't know if we've had anyone that well styled out there running the chain.
Well, they need to move the sticks back a little bit to get things. Here we go. Okay.
So it should be on the 26 would be the start, and it looks like that's where they have it at now. It is 1st and 20 after the 10-yard penalty, which was deemed a hold.
Midland running that three-man front.
It's going to be trips out to the left of Stone now. Fake to Paul. He'll roll left. Youngblood wide open downfield, but also has more. He's going to take a knee. Youngblood split the safeties there. Could have been gone for another touchdown, but instead it's going to be a pickup of about 15 on first down.
And, they're going to give you a couple of different looks, and you're going to have to decide what they're going to give you, but they're going to give you something. And Preston Stone took advantage of that quickly, tapping on that middle third of the field.
Stone will hand it off to Benson now. UK with a huge block up the middle, and Benson going over the top. Benson having himself a good year this season. Not much of a running back, though he does have almost 300 yards carrying, more so on the receiving side, as he is Stone's leading receiver this season at just over 800 yards through the air. Stone drops back to pass, looks left now, has more. Quick first move, second move good, into the end zone, touchdown. 5 Mustangs around him, but breaking the ankles of the first two, takes it in. 10:37 left in the first quarter. It's 13-0.
You play that soft cushion out there as a quarterback. You give him 5 to 8 yards. Just get the ball in your playmaker's hands and let him make a couple of moves and get to the end zone.
Bowman back on for the extra point attempt. And this one looks a little prettier, but still gets the job done. 14-0 is our score, and we are not even 2 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, and Bowman's kicking a lot better. He's a lot more solid, and I contribute that to the ankle socks with the long under handles, because he's throwing down a different look this week.
Well, everybody who had 14-0 2 minutes into the game, raise your hand.
I don't know if anybody really predicted this game to be 14-0 at any point.
If you told me it's 14-0 going into the third or going into the fourth, probably I would have believed you the way these teams play. But good mighty, that is great.
Coming into the game, Dallas Morning News and their Sports Day High School had their 9 writers pick the winners. All 9 did pick Parish, but not a single one of them had it by more than a score of 3 touchdowns. All of them had them within a reasonable amount of a close game.
Yeah, and I mean, if Midland Christian can right the ship and get in the end zone, that changes the complexion a little bit. But being up 2 touchdowns certainly helps.
The one thing that Midland Christian has done all season is they don't really get blown out by anybody, as this kick is going to go out of bounds inside the 5. They had the one game earlier in the year against a UIL opponent that they lost 41-6 against Wall. But even when they went up against the big talent of Nolan Catholic and JP2, those were all 2-score games.
Yeah, they just play good, solid, fundamental football. They take care of the ball. They don't throw interceptions. They're not going to beat you with a big play. They're gonna lull you to a false sense of security and take their chances when they have them.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. River Rodriguez, quarterback, 3 interceptions on the season, and that's it. Very tidy with the football.
Big set in for Midland. This is going to be a run up that right side. Following his running back, Borders is there first. Demery coming up second, but a good pickup there of 8 on first down, and that is the junior quarterback, River Rodriguez, 5'10", 170 with the carry there up the right side.
Yeah, and Borders had good backside pursuit on that. He read it off the snap, and he was on far side and just came in and cleaned it up.
We will see Parish showing the 4-2 set. They've moved Jalen Hall right up into that defensive tackle position, as we've seen a little bit more in the last 2 games.
Man coverage on Evans. There he goes.
Rodriguez steps up. They're going to go outside. That one's good to Brad Evans. He breaks 1 tackle and up even further, as he's been really the mainstay in talent across the field, as he's averaging or rushing this season. He's got almost 1,200 yards carrying.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this in the game out in Midland. I mean, the kid is tough as a Waffle House steak, and he will just scrape along the wall, pick along the line, and pick a hole and just get in there.
He's what we call a north-south runner. There's not a whole lot of east-west with him, averaging 8.5 yards per carry.
145 yards a game on the season is Evans. They're going to give him the hard count and then go right back to him. He'll go up the middle, almost breaks the tackle, but brought down at around the 40, near the original line, and they're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just what we're talking about. I mean, he is, as Forrest said, north and south. He just gets up behind the line and waits for his opportunity to come. He's very patient, and then he gets in the hole and takes off.
Well, you talk about discipline and coaching. At the end of the run, his shoulders are lowered, his feet are still driving, and he's going forward for another 2 or 3 yards after he's got guys on him.
Wide receiver in motion now for Rodriguez. He's going to take this one up the right side. Evans up the block, but no. Partridge gets there first. And out of bounds, he kind of spins him around. 2 flags out. And it looked like he already had control of him when he went out of bounds. But this looks like it could be 15 yards in the wrong direction of Parish.
Yeah, and he's just playing a little wide. I don't even know that was, really much of an oversight. He just kind of let him go out of bounds.
And before the game, Jackson, what were we talking about? Penalties. And not just, the holds or the block in the backs, but the 15-yard penalties. Your unsportsmanlike conduct, your personal fouls, your face masks. You cannot afford to give this team free 15 yards.
Now, granted, they've given you a free 14 points.
Well, yeah, part of that's on their own fault, turning the ball over on the kickoff. But on that sweep, though, what you didn't see last week that you saw today was Parish feed over, go with the flow, and run that football play out to the sideline.
Rodriguez is going to step up, gets this out to Evans on the swing pass. It's good, and there's another gain of about 6 on first down.
Well, and we've talked about that all season long. I mean, they have the opportunity to dominate the ball on both sides of the ball, the line of scrimmage, and they don't typically do that consistently. They'll exercise that for a half, or they'll just give up a big play. But they're certainly capable of doing that.
Under 9 minutes here remaining in the first quarter, as we see Midland now set into their rhythm. They're going to take their time. Down to 10 on the play clock, but this is a team that they're going to try and keep it out of your hand regardless if you have a 4-star quarterback in the backfield.
That's one of the way they win football games is ball control.
Rodriguez is going to keep this himself across that right side. Gets hit first that time by Partridge, but bounces off that one, but finally brought down. Tackle made there by number 3, Foster Malloy. He came in from that D tackle over there around the numbers, getting some good movement there off the ball.
Yeah, and Partridge got in on him and just unfortunately just didn't wrap up. And, no harm on it because he really didn't do anything other than come along the line of scrimmage for them to clean it up.
Now, the key there was Borders on the pursuit, keeping his outside shoulder free as he went down the line. You turn that play back in. That's the way you coach those players. Turn that play back in. Let your buddies come in from the inside and make the tackle.
Down to 5 on the play clock. Rodriguez trying to get his guys down early. Down to 1. Snap comes off. Hall right nearly gets to him, but still going out at around the 10, make it 11. No, they're going to get him past the 10 to the 9. That should be enough for a first down, would make it 1st and goal.
Yeah, Hall Wright shot the gap and just could have just blown that thing up right there behind the line of scrimmage.
7:43 remaining as the Mustangs have it moving. They need to score here. Down 14-0 right now, just trying to keep this game from getting away from them. Hard count comes in. Rodriguez going to keep it himself. Goes up the right side. Hit hard, as that time was Keegan Addison laying the lick down. Give him about a yard there on the first down carry.
Yeah, Addison came in, just got under his pads and really just untouched and just punched him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're talking about those linebackers, what we needed to see out of them today.
Exactly.
And that is flow with the play. Don't get caught up on the misdirection in the backfield, and go to the point of attack and do what they're supposed to do.
And Partridge seems to be moving up from that strong safety position to play the spy linebacker, giving Borders a little bit less of an assignment. This one's going to get handed off to Evans. He's trying to find an edge, chasing him down on that far side. What? They gave him the touchdown. He was down at the 1. He was trying to find that edge around number 5, Bruce Mitchell.
Well, here we're going to see it here. I think he made it on the second bounce.
That ball, I think his knee was down first. Either way, the ball was close to the line. So it's a pure judgment call. The line judge back there called it as good. So the touchdown is good, make it 14-6. But now the extra point unit onto the field. Number 24, Cole Gunner, is going to be on to attempt this one. As that one is up and good. I apologize, that was number 84 on the kick. That's Ryan Allen. So make it 14-7, 6:52 remaining in the first quarter, and that one really is just a calm down touchdown. Midland really needed to stop the pace of the game because Parish was in trouble of running away with this one.
Yeah, I mean they're just trying to keep the momentum somewhere where they could gather it, and they were obviously did it.
Now we're going to send it down to Emily Stone for another update from the sideline. Emily, take it away.
Hey guys, so through this last drive, you can see the defense playing, but also this is really coming from the amount of fans we have in the stands today. There are fans for both sides, Midland Christian and Parish, both showing up about 2.5, 3 hours away from their hometown. So it's really great to see this fan support in the state semifinals.
Thanks, Emily. A lot on the lines. Last year when these two teams met, it was here, but had a little bit of a different feel. Parish was coming off of a bye in the first round of the playoffs as the number 1 seed. Now, as the number 2 seed come in, they've already got 2 wins under their belt.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, they've been doing a great job. Midland Christian has about this season dictating what they're trying to do, and they've been derailing these high-flying offenses.
This one's going to be a short little squib. Youngblood's going to pick it up. Tries to take it up the middle. Gets a good little return past the 35. But they'll spot him at the 35, and that is where this offense will take over. 6:47 remaining in the first quarter. 14-7 is our score.
Yeah, and I mean, with the score the way it is, and this being the first true possession that you've had where you're, back behind your 50, for this being the start of the game for them and being up 14-7, I'll take that all day long.
Parish comes into this game averaging just under 35 points a game, and this one's going to be a quick pass out to Youngblood. No hold call there. That's going to be a gain of 2 on the outside. 6:35 remaining. Youngblood there with the catch. He was a big part in the win last time out in Midland. It was Youngblood and Jai Moore. Of course, Moore being the hero of that one, catching that final 25-yard touchdown pass. But both the slot receivers came away with big games in that one, as Stone really didn't have time in the pocket to make long decisions.
No, he was rushed the entire game until those last 2 minutes.
Stone's going to drop back, has Benson in the backfield. He'll break it out. Evans is going to be there to push him out of bounds, but that one is good for a first down.
Yeah, you got Evans, number 5, playing the H-back, getting most of the carries. You got him at linebacker, and I don't think that he's going to be able to cover Benson coming out of the backfield like that. I think that's a mismatch all of a sudden that they see that they like.
And we're going to see that a majority of this Midland team is going to play both ways, as Stone's going to quickly get this one over to Youngblood. A good little chip block there by Moore. Youngblood tries to fight through it. Still hasn't gone down. And a flag is thrown. It looked like very similar to what happened in the first quarter, as it was Partridge with the tackle on Evans. That one just a little bit late, so this one should be going against Midland.
Well, when you're 10 yards wide and the guy came in well behind the tackle, that's
one of the things you got to do too on that play, guys, is you've got to protect that football.
At that point, you got to protect the ball boy on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, after Youngblood caught the ball, as he's trying to battle straight forward, he's got that ball way out there with 4 guys on him, and that's a lot of times that doesn't end well.
5:45 remaining in the first quarter of play. That will be a penalty against the Mustangs. Ball was at about the 50. They're going to move them up to the 35. It's going to be first down. And this is one thing you can't afford to do. We talk about Parish not wanting to give up penalties. Anyone playing against Preston Stone, they can't afford to give them free yards.
No, you can't give them that. That's just too much.
So Stone will drop back. He hands it off to Paul, his first carry of the game, and it's a good one. Breaks off one tackle, still going, spinning, and that one will be up to about the 24 is the initial line. That will be good for a first down pickup of carry of 11 on his first carry of the game.
Yeah, Forrest, back to what you said. I mean, taking care of the ball. They're coming in. The second guy's hitting the ball, and they're going for the strip, and they're trying to create a turnover and see if they can get it done that way.
Stone with 2 running backs in the backfield. This one's going to be a handoff to Benson. Quickly makes the first man miss. Now splits 2 tackles, but a flag is thrown at about the 24-yard line. It will be a hold against the Panthers, backing them up. So after a good gain on first down, there would have been another good gain on back-to-back plays. This one's now going to back up 10 yards.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing, what you're seeing is this line is they're trying to get off these techniques where these kids are getting under their pads, and they're unfortunately just kind of wrapping them up instead of keeping their hands inside and blocking with their feet.
5:16 remaining in the first quarter of play. It's now 1st and 20. 4 receivers out. Benson in the slot. Youngblood on the opposite side. Moore and Hill also there. Benson's going to be in motion, moving to the right now. Trips on that side for Stone. He'll look that way. Shakes off Benson. Goes to Paul in the flat. He's got space in the open. Jai Moore up the block. Just don't step out of bounds, and he doesn't. Touchdown, Panthers. No flags on the play. That one's free and clear. Make it 20-7. Panthers lead.
Yeah, he looked off the receiver in the flat on the far side, and I thought that was an error. Boy, I was wrong on that.
Looking at the replay on the big board, Andrew Paul was wide open. He had several of his offensive linemen out there to block. Jai Moore was almost just a safety blanket.
A beautiful screen pass setup. And like you say, Jim, looking right, send the motion that way, come back to the left, and that defense is so spread out. They were running that 3-8 formation that time. You got plenty of real estate once you get the football. Get your bigs out front, let them have fun. 6 points, boys.
Extra point attempt up and good by Blaine Bowman. Make him 3 for 3 on the night. Sorry, on the day. It's kind of weird playing a little bit of daylight football, but 21-7 is our score. 4:51 remaining in the first quarter, and Parish can do just about no wrong.
No, they're exercising their will on this thing, and Midland's hanging in there. They're just not getting opportunities, and that's what Parish is having to do, is keep them from that.
And so getting ready to return this kick, Midland, they really need to turn this around, as they got the touchdown on the last drive there. So technically they're 1 for 1, but as we near the end of the first quarter of play, they're still staring at a 2-score deficit.
Yeah, and with Parish, the way they operate on their offense, that would be something to overcome for sure.
I do like the success Parish has had with the running game so far, setting that up, because I think that's going to open up the passing game.
On the kick return, this one up to about the 30, pushed out of bounds. That one brought up will be by number 19, Tristan Marsh. And so coming back onto the field, if you're quarterback River Rodriguez, you're really doing everything that you can on offense. It's your defense that you really just going, come on, guys, just give me a chance.
Yeah, and they're just not getting the opportunities, as I said, and Midland. I think Midland is executing what they want to do. They're just that the special teams turnover. That was unfortunately thus far the game.
Evans in motion back to the right.
Empty backfield now for Rodriguez. He's got trips to the left, but he's going to keep it himself, and he runs into the juggernaut known as Keegan Addison and gets absolutely slammed. Doesn't help Jaden Jones was there with the big body to take him from behind. Just impressive what this defensive line has really grown into form here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and they're very disciplined, and it looks like, over the last 3 games, they're more consistent than they've been the entire season, and that's what you want to see at playoff time. But they're very disciplined. They're staying at home. They're doing what they're going to do, and they're leveraging their athletic ability.
Evans in motion in the backfield. He'll flip over to Rodriguez's right side. H-back to that side as well. Rodriguez will keep it himself. Hall right comes off the edge but can't bring him down. Borders there, as that's near the first down. Looks to be a bit short. make it third down.
Yeah, and Borders is just playing out of his head because he's getting all that stuff from the far side on the pursuit.
They're going to make it a first down for Midland, so they've got it moving up near midfield at the 43.
Yeah, great pursuit, Jim, by Borders on that last play, coming across the field.
Showing a little bit of the Borders we saw from last season.
And we talked about that, we needed to start seeing 2019 Borders, and I think we are.
Evans is going to get the carry, and he runs into Borders. Addison there for the first contact, and that's going to be one of the shortest gains on first down of about 3 yards.
Yeah, again, they stayed at home. They were disciplined, and they basically they're going to close the lanes and make these guys have to play outside of what their ability is, and that's what stopped them thus far.
Rodriguez now 2 receivers, 1 split out to each side. Tight end and H-back to his right. Evans on that side as well. Defensive line shift. Looked like an offensive lineman moved. Could back him up. Waiting for the official call. But this has been the storyline as we get the call in from the ref. It's going to be a false start on the offense, backing him up. But looking at this Midland team, Evans, it's not so much how many yards is he going to get? More so is, are you going to let him get over 200 yards? Because that seems to be the question. With averaging almost 150 yards a game, he's going to have a good game.
So when you look at the games they did lose this year, Midland Christian, they held Evans to 160 yards or less in the games they lost. So that tells you what kind of prolific runner that guy is.
Rodriguez in the backfield, give him the hard count. It's going to be a little bit of the veer off that right side. And going out of bounds on the tackle, that's going to take him up near the original line of scrimmage, make it 3rd and 11.
Yeah, Partridge got up a little slow.
Well defended.
Evans on the carry.
Yeah, this was something in the game out in Midland that gave our defense trouble, was that option that they were running. Who has what in assignment football? And, you watch a lot of film.
Well,
you get them where they need to be.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that Midland operates on a level that they don't see typically, Parish.
And a quick timeout trying to get to the coaches. They're going to get it. Defensive shift came in late. Demery saw it as he jumped out of that free safety position to jump on the slot receiver. But we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back after this quick break.
School is fantastic. You feel you're involved in every step of the decision-making process. That really makes a big difference to me.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
Coming out of the commercial, 2:37 remaining in the first quarter of play. Our score stands at 21-7 as Parish really has done everything right offensively. Now it's time to see if their defense can match, as that was the storyline in the Midland game. They couldn't really get that big stop when they needed to, especially they're moving into the fourth quarter, and it came down to Preston Stone and what he could do with his arm.
Well, this defense has really buckled down this series compared to that first series where Midland Christian just kind of took it down the field on them. They have really buckled down on this. Big third down coming up here.
It's going to be press coverage on the outside.
Yeah.
Rodriguez is going to take a look out to his right side, rolls out, tries to find a man. Good coverage there by Moore, as that one was out of bounds. No catch, make it 4th and 11. And some scary territory. You're not quite yet to the 50. How much do you trust that passing game?
Yeah, and on this play, Jaden Jones is the one that kind of broke everything up. He had 3 bodies on him, and if he still could have got off the block, I think he could have knocked the thing down.
Punt unit on for Midland. As back to return, this is Benson and Demery. It's a high snap. This one will get off, and fair caught. That one brought down by Demery at around the 25, and that is where they will start their possession. But really, you were right. It was Jaden Jones breaking up the play there in the backfield, but good coverage by Amari Hayes on the outside, and he really has been the lockdown corner whenever Parish needed it this season.
Yeah, and I mean, Jones just basically stretched the play where the route ended up out of bounds and forced that fourth down.
2:26 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Parish got the stop they wanted. Now they got to see if they can extend that lead. They're currently up 21-7. It's going to be trips to the right now for Stone as Benson is in the backfield. Motion out now, empty it up for Stone. He's going to look out. Tries to go for it all. It's Nathaniel Hill. He gets wrapped up. Tried to go one hand with it, but couldn't bring it down. That right there might have been the safe play. Benson had nobody covering him. He could have gotten at least 10 there on the catch. But no, Hill tried. We do have a flag out here in the backfield. It's going to be holding against the Panthers. So not only do they not get the reception, as we're looking at the replay here on the big board, trying to go up top to Nathaniel Hill. It was close coverage. Looked like he never was able to get that left hand up to try and catch it.
Yeah, and the DB never got his head around, but he certainly wrapped him up early, and they could have called that for sure.
I think they got that hold on Big Joe Mahari, 66. As I looked on the replay, may have been hugging his guy and then on top of him on the ground. He essentially pancaked him.
Stone's going to have to break up the middle, but no, he's going to get brought down early. That's going to be a huge sack. Make it second and a long way to go. That one was a read option that the defensive line never bid on, and Stone probably should have gotten rid of it. Instead, gets brought down for the sack.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder what they're doing with their line. If they're going to use a zone blitz, if they're going to bring guys in, and it looks like they're going to just kind of pick how they're going to rush.
Back up to their 11. This is going to be a design quarterback keeper. Stone gets hit there about a yard past. Bigot a gain of 1. Now 3rd and 25.
Yeah, and Elias came in late on the pursuit and just stayed with Preston Stone the entire play and attribute that to just hustle.
Down to 15 on the play clock as we near the 1 minute mark here in the first quarter. It's 3rd and 25, needing to get up almost to the 35 to pick up the first down. Stone's going to roll to his left now, has Benson wide open on the flat. Tries to make one man miss, no, goes out of bounds. That's short of the 25-yard line. Still couldn't get back to the initial line of scrimmage. And the punt team will come onto the field. We'll see what Preston Stone can do now with his leg.
Yeah, I was hoping for, maybe something a little bit longer downfield, knowing that they had man coverage on the left side of our offense. But, no problem getting the hands in the ball of Benson. That guy's a playmaker. He'll get some yards. Got you a little breathing room now. Let's play field position football.
And this is a high spiraling punt. And caught inside the 40 at about the 36. And that is where the Mustangs will come onto the field. So could have been a little bit of a momentum shift there as the Panthers able to force a stop, but really got nothing going on the offensive side.
No, and we kind of saw this out in Midland where they'd run a smaller defensive line in, and they would rush all three. They would change things up on you, and it kind of got the O-line a little, forcing them to guess a little bit rather than just push it forward.
Rodriguez back onto the field to start this drive. He'll fake to Evans. Goes outside on the flat, but Borders is there. Demery laying the hit as well. It's going to be a gain of 1 on the short pitch and catch. That time to number 85 as he gets a little bit of action. That is 86, Josh Keating on the reception.
Yeah, and that was great pursuit on the ball. They basically went in past the line of scrimmage, picked up their assignments, and then just followed the ball. That was great pursuit.
Yeah, that guy's not running away from borders on a man coverage situation right there. It's not going to happen.
Give him a little bit of credit. There's not many people that can. 10 seconds remaining on the first quarter of play. They don't have to snap it. They will. Trying to go over the top. Hayes is there in coverage, but a flag is thrown. And they moved the flag back to the 41, but that time, I'm not sure what went wrong. Hayes got turned around. He had a hand on the man, yes, but
I think Coach Novikov on the far side shares your concern as he's got his hands in the what the heck position.
It looked like that ball was well out of reach of the intended man.
Yeah, he wasn't tall enough for that pass.
Okay.
I'm not sure of many people that are, unless we're planning on bringing Megatron out of retirement to play some high school football. But nonetheless, that will do it for the first quarter of play. Our score, 21-7. Parish leads this one as they came out hot, as they got a good return on the opening kickoff. Then Benson took it himself on the reverse for the first score of the game. Then you flip it around and you force a fumble on your kickoff and immediately take that in for a touchdown.
Yeah, and you know, we discussed this, you know, how special teams plays into it, and you know, that's really it's done nothing more than dictate the kind of the momentum and flow of the game thus far.
And we're now going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter of action. Both teams are back onto the field, but we have time for a little bit of a ref powwow. Trying to figure out where the line of scrimmage is. I think
it's the sticks.
Yard markers are broken on the far side. We have a top-notch crew of volunteers out here today, and they haven't flipped the field.
Oh, one untimed down on the penalty,
okay.
on the defensive penalty.
So we haven't finished the first quarter
No.
yet. Instead, we will get one more play. It's 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line of the Panthers. This one's going to be a run to Evans. Addison, no, that was Borders with Hall right. That's going to be a gain of 2. And now we will end the first quarter.
Great linebacker play, stepping up again. You know, you saw that previously in the game out in Midland, where Evans would run into the line and then bounce back out to the outside and get yards that way. They are wrapping him up and pursuing to the outside, forcing it back in.
Yeah, I mean, these linebackers have been doing it all season long. They're obviously the backbone of the defense, and they're playing solid fundamentals. But most of your tackles are made past the line of scrimmage or when they're coming in.
And now we are going to pitch for another commercial break. We'll be back right after this.
The service after the sale is something that will keep bringing my wife and I back as Sewell customers. Give them about 48 hours, tell them what you need service for. They bring you a loan car, pick up your car, take it back, do the service, and come and pick up the loan car. That's like being royalty. If that doesn't invoke loyalty, I don't know what does. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
Now both teams are back onto the field, and we're set and ready for the start of the second quarter of play. Rodriguez motioning Evans in the backfield, as they have tried to run up that right side all night. Now it's going to go up the middle, stopped short. That's going to be Jalen Hall right busting through, as he's been a good addition there to the defensive tackle, pulling him from the second level and put him on the front punch.
Yeah, and he came up and absorbed. I would like to point something out to you, Jackson. That thing in the sky, It's the sun.
Yes, I am aware. I'm used to Friday Night Lights, you know.
It's the sun.
I am used to Friday Night Lights. Instead, we get the sun lighting the miles and miles that we can see of view high atop here in Abilene, which is probably the tallest building in the town. Rodriguez is going to get the snap. He'll look left, look at a pass, has Evans down short at the flat. Partridge comes screaming out of the safety position, pushes him out of play, and gets there just in time to keep him from picking up the first down.
Yeah, and they were excited about that on the Midland sideline.
Well, that was a huge hit by Partridge. Evans' mouth guard, I don't know if the camera picked it up, but it flew. It flew out of his mouth. That was a huge hit.
Of course, we know Evans can take a hit and keep on going. He got hit hard enough in that last game, his face mask broke. As this one's
Kids aren't afraid of contact.
No. Rodriguez is going to be empty backfield. And a flag coming in from everywhere. As it looked like the ball got tipped at the line.
It looked like Jeremiah Bowden got up and got underneath that thing and got it off its trajectory.
And they are going to wave the flag. It is. You can see it on the Jumbotron here. A big mitt came in, and that was by number 8 on the line as he just jumped up and got a hand on it. As Partridge, he had good coverage, but that one definitely was within the 5 yards. But we're now going to send it down to the sideline for another update from Emily Stone. Emily, take it away.
Hey guys, so earlier y'all were talking about trying to get used to playing not on those Friday Night Lights, but for a lot of these guys behind me, they're going to go play college ball in a year or two. So this game for them is kind of a taste of what they're going to have in the next few years after they leave Parish. But first, they've got at least another game before their season's over.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, you look at the talent on this Parish team. You've got 2 SMU commits, and then UK, who really can go wherever he wants. The talent is definitely there, as this one's going to be a handoff to Paul. Benson with a good block on the outside. Paul running through his man, give him 5 on first down.
Yeah, that back to what Midland Christian does. That was a solid fundamental hit in the open field, and there's a lot of guys in our district that have just waved that one past them, and the guy's gone.
There's not many people in this district that are okay with seeing Andrew Paul running at him and willing to make a tackle. He is a big body coming at you, but that time a good tackle. Making a gain of 5 as Stone now making some changes up at the line. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Down to 5. Snap comes off.
Coverage up top.
Stone having to keep it himself. He'll go out of bounds. But a good heads-up play at that time by number 13 for Midland. That's Brody Dixon, not shoving him out of play.
Boy, he wanted to throw it, didn't he? He had man coverage up at the top, Jai Moore and Youngblood, and that's the direction he wanted to go. Just both those receivers just couldn't break free in that split second and get half a yard separation.
But that was one of the good things that Midland did in their last matchup. They didn't let Stone take the top off the defense. As this one's going to be they're going to fake it to Paul. He's going to keep himself good little tuck there on the read option. Read that one perfectly. And if you're head coach Sonny Dykes, you're loving that when you're going up to the second level.
Yeah, and they're showing them a totally different look this series on the D line. They're dropping their linebackers, or they're showing their linebackers and down, and then they're dropping them back into coverage. They're that end or the tackle actually made pretty good penetration that time because he just went through a gap.
This one will be a handoff to Benson. UK busts it open. Benson still going. 20, 15, 10 into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. No flags. It's clean. Make it 27-7. As a great run there, as it was UK and Meharry coming up the middle, just driving a truck lane there in the middle of the field.
Read option, again to the left side. Stone taking that ball, reading the defensive end set, handoff to the running back, and the softest they're playing with that 3 or 4 man front, and those linebackers backed off 6 or 7 yards, it's money right there.
Bowman on for the extra point attempt. It's good. Make it 28-7, 9:43 remaining in the second quarter of play. And Jim, looking at that offensive drive, it really looked like Parish just had it clicking. They kept moving and moving, and their running game right now is what's setting them apart.
Yeah, and they were adjusting to the line shifts with the linebackers dropping in coverage, and they actually exploited that last play where they over pursued on the wrong side, and as Forrest said, that read option, they just picked it up, and you weren't going to catch him with a car.
No.
Looking at this Parish team, with a 4-star SMU commit in Stone, they're going to have a good passing game. What many people overlook, they're averaging over 160 yards a game rushing. And a lot of that is coming from Stone in the backfield, but when you have the two-headed monster in Andrew Paul and Christian Benson, it's impressive what this team can do.
Yeah, dual means two.
No, you could go ahead and line it up, and you could come at you with trips, you can come out with two backs. There's a whole bunch of tools that they have, and like you said, they got a bunch of talent. They got more studs than a Kentucky horse farm.
This one's going to be fair caught at about the 6-yard line, so it will be the Mustangs taking over at their own 25 to start this drive.
Yeah, back to Stone and what you were commenting on. Dual threat. That's arm and legs, right? And a lot of times we've either seen him run out of trouble and gain positive yards, or that quarterback draw where he's dropping back, faking that pass, waiting for the defense to kind of come past him, and then taking off and going down there. The guy's going to be very, very good in college. If you get into that Sonny Dykes offense, I'm with you, man.
Especially when you have a guy you can match him with named T.J. McDaniels out of South Lake Carroll. Demery coming up lower in the shoulder. He'll get the tackle as that one's on Evans, make it a gain of 2 on first down.
Amari Hayes, that was just a flat, textbook open field tackle. He got under him, got on his legs, brought him down.
9:20 remaining in the second quarter of play. Midland back to taking their time. They're going to empty the backfield now for Rodriguez. Evans in motion. Rodriguez rolls out to his right. Has up the middle. Borders nearly got a hand on it, but no, that's going to be complete to number 9. Bringing it down is Jack King, the junior. The 5'10", 150 junior getting his first reception of the game. Make it first down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and that was just a surgical toss. That was right between two defenders, and he just settled into an open pocket in between three guys. A deep man came up to cover, and you can't stop that.
Defensive line shift. Rodriguez still the only man.
Option.
Now they're going to run the option. Evans comes in out of rotation. Malin couldn't get to him. Push out of bounds. That's Partridge and Demery there from the third level. But a good pickup on first. They're now in Panther territory at the 45.
Yeah, and Evans, like you said, he's north and south, and it's almost like he looks for contact. He's fine with it. He's a good athlete.
8:41 remaining in the second quarter of play. It's going to be trips now to the right for Rodriguez. Evans at the H-back. Rodriguez is going to look to the right, now back. Doesn't have a man. Evans finally splits off. Hayes there for the tackle, but Evans backs him up 5 yards.
Boy, the kid delivers the blow, doesn't he? Every time.
And Hayes now getting called for the penalty. It looked like he was jarring at the ref, but he didn't like it. He just needs to calm down there. Evans came in on back-to-back plays, and with the two tackles, they had words for each other. But Hayes now, they think he just went a little bit too far.
Yeah, Evans settled in at that H-back on his blocking assignment. As soon as they picked up the end, he got loose, and they didn't account for him. He swung to the flat and got loose. He's one you got to account for every play.
As we await for the refs to come in for the official word, now they got to go talk it over with the Midland coaching staff.
Yeah, and Omari may be giving up 50 pounds to Evans.
At least.
On the last couple of plays.
And they just waved that off.
Yeah, but Omari stepping up, staying low, making the tackle. Even with Evans low in his shoulder, man, that's tough to get up in there and do that.
But that's a quick turnaround. Evans learned. Amari's going to be on the form tackle. He now lowers the shoulder, and he pushed him back a good 4 yards.
He did.
So Rodriguez will be in the shotgun. The running back to his right is Cole Gunner. They're going to swing it out to the right now on the option. Gunner gets the pitch. Borders there. And Bodwin as well. They'll take him down. Gain of none. Make it 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and what stopped that was the backers came up and sealed the edge and basically forced them to stretch the play outside, and they just ran out of real estate. And at that point, you just kind of close the trap door and call it a night.
It's that lateral pursuit that you need from those backers.
Evans will come back into play. 2 receivers now to the left of Rodriguez. This is going to be a fake to Evans, looking for a man. Has it across the middle. No! Good job batting it out of his hands that time. Was number 5. That's Batman Mitchell. The Dark Knight strikes again, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, and Mitchell played through the hands. Yeah, Mitchell played through the hands on great coverage. We got a flag down.
Forrest, how hard is it for you not to say hanky on the carpet?
Well, surprisingly, there have been a lot through the first and second quarter. I really expected more of a penalty-free game, given how valuable real estate is on that football field in a semifinal playoff game. I really, thought that the personal fouls would be kept to a minimum. Those free 15 yards would be few and far between, but the referees have been, prolific?
And they're going to call this as a personal foul against the Mustangs, as Novikov's almost quarter of the way on the field trying to talk to his guys.
He needs a get-back coach.
That one coach on the sideline that pulls you back, yeah.
The get-back coach.
I don't think we have to worry about Parish with a hype man. They got to get him back. They got to calm him down a little bit. 7:45 remaining in the second quarter of play. 28-7 is our score, as the Mustangs have been backed up to their own 45 as they've made this 3rd and 20.
Those are killers. 4th down. At least they got 4th on the box now. Yep.
And the head umpire is calling for 4th down, so the punt unit will come onto the field. With the unsportsmanlike conduct, they will lose the down.
So you're 3rd and 5 after the incomplete. You're in Panther territory. You may be thinking, I'm going to give myself a shot right here and go for it on 3rd and 5. Do you get that 15-yard penalty, and now you're punting?
And looks like it's going to go back to the Mustangs, as it looks like Jaden Jones just couldn't slow up. He runs into the punter, and Novikov is livid. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct of running into the punter. And so you talked about it. 3rd and 5, you're in decent shape. You get to decide to go for it. Then you back up because of a free 15 yards to Parish. Then they just give it right back to you, and you get an automatic 1st down.
Yeah, those are the kind of mistakes that drive a coach crazy, as you saw Novikov come across the numbers. And very, very agitated as he came across. Because, he realizes now we've got to stop. We've got time on our side. We've got decent field position. We're on a roll. We go from that to back to playing defense again, and they're 1st and 10 on the 40 with 7:35 in the second.
Midland really needs to get a score now. They're trailing by 3 scores. Defensive line's going to shift. It's going to be Jones nearly getting him, but no. Borders is going to come in. Looked like Addison got the early wrap-up, but that's going to be a gain of 3 on 1st down. And you talk about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I'd much rather see that than letting Evans run for 6 like he has been all year long.
Yeah, and I think they're more than happy to take these 3-yard clumps. And as Forrest said, the backbreaker on that is you've got your defense on the sideline resting, and then now they're back on the field, and that momentum breaker.
It's going to be a bad snap. Rodriguez is going to get hit. That's going to go incomplete. Make it 3rd down we're talking about Evans, we saw it earlier in the year. We're seeing it now. He really, if the opening's not there, he's patient enough to find a spot, which is why he's averaging almost 9 yards a carry.
Yeah, I mean, he just is patient. He bides his time. He's got good vision. He just scrapes along the line, and uses his momentum to carry him to open space.
I wish they would keep a yard after contact stat on him, because there may be 2 or 3 yards of carry after contact. There's a hold.
And the flag is thrown. Rodriguez is going to go out of bounds. And that was Jaden Jones jumped so early. He had the play dead to rights. Offensive lineman really couldn't manage it, so it's going to be backed up 10 yards. And Mustangs are really back exactly where they were earlier. It was 3rd and 5. Now it's 3rd and 6. They're going to back him up 10 yards.
Yeah, and what Jones will do, Jones will go outside and go wide. Both ends will. They'll go wide on the tackle where he has to adjust, and he has to bring his head around to pick him up, and then he'll come inside on him.
I think we're trying to decide if Novikov wants to accept the penalty. It would be 4th and 7 if he declines. Instead, he will accept it, making it 3rd and 17. Backed up to the 47. Really, it's not much of a loss. This Midland team, they're going to try and get about 6 to 7 yards per play. Now they have to get up 17.
And I like that, because if Midland's forced to pass, especially out of a pocket, and throw that ball downfield, that is not exactly their strength. So I like the 3rd and 17 versus the 4th and 7.
Rodriguez alone in the backfield. Evans is going to move over as the H-back. Rolling out to his right. He'll have to take it himself. Jones from behind. That time it's going to be Mitchell, but a flag's down. Coming way in from the 10-yard line. Talk about an arm on the ref.
Yeah.
That was about a 20-yard pitch and catch there.
25-yard flag toss. I think maybe a face mask on the tackle.
They're going to back it up now to the penalty. It will be a face mask against Parish, and that will be a first down. So you talked about, the penalties. You didn't expect it to be a high penalty game. Seems like every other play has a flag thrown.
It does, and the problem is the majority of them are the 15-yarders. And that, so here we go. You're looking at a 4th down and 8 or 9 to a 1st down and 10 on the Panther 22-yard line.
Yeah, the penalties are discipline penalties. It's poor tackling technique. It's other stuff. Oh, look what we're gonna do. We're gonna run power.
That's a Maryland eye right there.
And a timeout's gonna be called. Parish not liking it, but I'll be honest. I don't know if any defense has practiced against that since the late 90s. But we're gonna step away now for a quick commercial break. We'll be back after the timeout.
In the end, it's not the
often
politician
you see the Maryland
that builds
eye.
this country. It's the entrepreneur, carrying the world's largest economy on their shoulders, putting Americans back to work. Really, they're the only ones who ever could. We've always been the entrepreneur's bank, for the century behind and the century ahead. Vista Bank.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, banking
We can send it to you
entrepreneurs
even though you're not
since
on camera.
1912.
Coming back after the timeout, 6:43 remaining in the second quarter of play. 28-7 is our score, and even though it's a 3-score game, other than those first 2 minutes, it really hasn't felt like it.
No, not at all. I mean, everybody's kind of, Parish has kind of settled into their game with a 3-touchdown lead, and you can move the ball around as much as you want to inside the goal line, and nothing's really changed. They're coming back out in power.
And we are at 3 o'clock, meaning the other state semifinal has begun over at Globe Life Field, that one between Nolan Catholic and Fort Worth All Saints. As Evans here, jumbo package in front of him, plenty of blockers as it's going to be Addison coming in. That's going to be a gain of 1, and a little bit of trickery there goes for naught.
That is old school smash mouth football right there. We're lining up, we're telling you where we're going to go, and we're just going to challenge you to stop us. And the defense rose up to the challenge, gaining 1 yard.
2nd and 9 as they're going to stay with the big man package. As the 3 fullbacks shift to the left, it's going to be Evans taking it that way again. But that time it's Addison again with the tackle. That time pick it up a little bit more, gets 2, make it 3rd. And no, it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Now they got UK in now, and he's accounting for about 3 blockers himself. So that kind of shoots the wheels off the cart right there, where they have to get it on the edge, running that power. It's not working for them.
It's a good job by Jaden Jones on that play too, to keep his outside free.
And now they're going to shift to the right side. Evans will take this one up the middle. That's going to be Malin coming up from the edge. Hit by Demery just short of the first down. That will make this a 4th and short, give him about 2 yards needed to gain.
Yeah, and running that power, you can do a lot of things from that Parish needs to adjust to on the line, and they're starting to pick it up. But you're going to give up ground like they did in the last play.
And a timeout's going to be called. We're going to send it down to the sideline now for a quick update from Emily Stone. Emily? Unfortunately, we have a little bit of difficulties trying to get down to Emily. We'll get back to her as soon as we can. But 5:08 remaining in the second quarter. It's a 3-score game with Parish now. You're backed up into the red zone. This is where your defense, you got to prove you came to play.
Oh, yeah, you got to bow your back and basically stand your ground and adjust to what they're throwing at you. They've come out, and as Forrest said, you might as well walk up to the line and go, okay, I'm going in this hole on 2, stop me, and you have to adjust to that.
Here's the thing that concerns me right now on this 4th down play. They've shown you that Maryland eye the last 3 times. You take a timeout on what is, a pivotal 4th down play here. Do you come out with some sort of trick play out of that formation now, where you're going to hide a football player, send him into the flat, send him on a go route somewhere, and he's going to be wide open?
Get a little fumble-rooski going on out of the Maryland eye. Now we're going to send it down to the sideline for that update from Emily Stone. Emily?
Hey guys, with just about 5 minutes left in the second quarter, there is some rain in the forecast. I myself have felt a few raindrops, but hopefully the rain will stay away from this game and we'll be able to finish out all dry.
Thanks, Emily. The Midland fans are up and loud, trying to get everybody pumped up for this one. They go back to that stacked I formation. Evans in the shotgun. This one's going to go up that right side. He's got space, gets hit early. It's going to be close. Initial hit came in by Addison again, as it looked like Foster Malloy also got in on the action. This one, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring out the chains, but no, they're going to go ahead and wave it off. Nope, now the chains are going to come in. Well, they're finally making up their mind.
Yeah, and Addison basically just didn't even get a block. He just had to fill the gap. He got under Rodriguez's pads, and I think he stopped him short, but we'll see.
That was a great job by Keegan at the linebacker position, coming across the play, and then literally diving back and grabbing him around the legs and hauling him down short.
So this could be a huge shift in momentum. If it goes in favor of the Panthers, as this looks like it's not, I don't know. This one's going to be close. We're going to have to see. They've brought the chains out. They needed to get to the 12, but no, that's short.
Short. And maybe short about 6 inches.
So it will go over to the Panthers, and you could just hear the deflation coming from the Midland fans' sideline.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to give up the ball, although you're burying your opponent on field position. But you've had a lot of momentum shift in the middle of the field, and then you're going down. You get on the belly of the goal line and turn it over on down. So that's unfortunate.
5:03 remaining in the second quarter of play. Stone will come in, Benson in the backfield with him. 2 receivers split out to either side.
If I'm Novikov, I throw it deep.
No, they're going to hand it off to Benson, but it gets just about as many yards as he's still moving up around the Southland Conference logo. That will be up for a first down.
I felt certain they were going to come out on that turnover and just chunk it down deep and try and get a big play.
The defense would have agreed with you.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to.
I kind of side with you, but you're still kind of on your own end zone, and that's a tough spot to do it.
Yeah, but you got Stone there.
That's true.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yes, he is good, but we don't know if we can make him the answer to everything. Benson's going to keep this one himself again, kind of runs into his own offensive line, but it's going to be a gain of 3. And now we have a little bit of an important question, guys. Who's having more fun, the kids playing football or the guys on the hill rolling down the turf? We got some kids rolling up and down the turf now, just like they're at the Little League World Series.
Rolling up and down. You got folks in sleeping bags enjoying the game.
4:14 remaining in the second quarter of play. 1 timeout remaining for Parish, as this one's going to be a fake to Andrew Paul. He'll step up the block, going across the middle to Youngblood. He's got it down at the opposite 40, and his defensive back guarding him had no idea where the ball was.
Yeah, Youngblood did. I mean, he ran a clean route. He took on contact. He got separation, got his hands free, picked it up.
Play action, freeze the linebackers, look for the post, separate the safeties. There you are.
Stone's going to hand this one off to Paul. He tries to stiff arm at the line, but no. Brought down by the big defensive tackle, number 55. That's Noah Davis.
And, back to that previous play, we saw Youngblood have success on that route when we played out in Midland a couple of times. He just knows where to get. He's going to split those safeties out deep. And Stone just lost it into him.
And we saw that a lot last year as well, except it was Foster Malloy coming in from the tight end position. Now you add a little bit more speed. Blake Youngblood has been an incredible addition to this receiving corps. 3:20 remaining. Stone's going to roll out to his left. Has Youngblood again. He catches it, but a flag is down at about the 43-yard line. That will be holding against the Panthers in the area of Andrew Paul, but I'm not sure if I saw a hold there on that play. So that negates about a 5-yard pitch and catch to Youngblood. Backing him up, make it 2nd and 20.
Well, I think we got 4 plays off before a penalty.
Just about.
Yeah, that's true.
We are moving in the right direction.
That is. We're trending the right way.
But we're down to the 50-yard line now, just above the logo, as Stone's going to come in. 2 receivers to either side. 3:14 remaining, as Midland has brought the air horns.
The Zozobras.
This one will be a fake to Paul.
Over the middle.
Has Benson across the middle, wide open. It's good. Spins out of 1 tackle, still going at the 25-20. Finally brought down at around the 15, as he made 2 men miss, and the same guy miss again.
Yeah, and Benson, I mean, he ran a clean route and kind of tied up his end there on the flat and then got free.
So it was essentially the play they ran to Youngblood play before last, except they flipped it over and sent it to Benson, have him run that post route through the middle between the safeties.
Benson is such a threat. He is on the roster as a running back, but out of the backfield is such a pivotal receiver for Stone, as Stone's going to keep it himself. Makes 2 men miss, goes on the outside at around the first down marker, but just short.
Zone read, and that works out so well with that 3-man front that the defense is presenting with you, doesn't it, Jim? I mean, it makes it so easy for you as a quarterback.
I mean, that's a very good defense, and that's like taking candy from a baby with that 3-man front, especially if your outside linebacker is committed to covering the flat, and you're throwing a bunch of stuff at him, and it's unfair.
Well, and that's one of the things you want to do as an offensive coordinator is put kids in conflict.
Parish trying to get an early put-away score as Stone's going to roll out. He has Jai Moore, breaks the tackle into the end zone for the score. Touchdown, Panthers. That one will bust this one out to a 4-score lead. Make it 34-7, 2:34 remaining in the second quarter.
So what we call a whip route is what Jai ran. So he's out there in man coverage, sprints off the line, turns in, and then wheels back out to the outside. Stone with the perfect pass there. That is an extremely hard route to cover.
As that extra point attempt by Blaine Bowman goes off the left upright. No good. That will be his first extra point attempt missed this season, but our score stands at 34-7.
There's just not a lot of kids that can cover that route, and especially with Jai Moore running it. And if you look back to the state championship game last year, they ran 4 or 5 of those whip routes, and always for big gains right there. What a drive. What a drive.
So sitting at 34-7, 2:34 remaining. You know, you've already got your backs up against the wall if you're Midland. Now, you do get the ball back at the start of the second half. So if you can score here, that could be a good 2-possession swing. However, they're not exactly the best when it comes to scoring with little time remaining.
No, and their offense is predicated on what their defense does, which is basically we're going to control the ball and our defense is going to stop you. And thus far, they haven't done so, and it's to their own detriment at this point. And now they have to score quickly, and that's not really a club they have in the bag.
They do still have 2 timeouts remaining, 2:34 left on the clock. As we will see what they can do. They have thrown it a little bit more today. Rodriguez has done pretty good with his arm rolling out of the pocket. But then again, the offense is going to run through Evans. That's not a question that we really need to ask. We know it's going to run through that young man. Bowman's going to kick this one away. It's a little pooch kick. As covered well, Partridge there with Borders on the tackle. As this one will start just outside the 25, make it the 27-yard line.
Yeah, and I think the whole point to that kick was to basically give them field position, but to keep it from extending the play with their deep men. And net they gave them 1.5 yards. And Bowman could now be the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week.
2:30 remaining in the second quarter of play. Midland needing to drive complete length of the field. Rodriguez getting rid of it now, has a man good. Demery on the coverage there, but that pass is completed to number 9, Jack King.
Yeah, and the line play extended that and forced them. That wasn't the throw that they were wanting. They're wanting a deeper throw in the middle, and because Jaden Jones is positioned on the line, that basically forced their hand.
Yeah, and on somewhat of a crucial drive, you know who's not out there for Midland Christian? Mm-hmm. Evans.
This one's going to be run up the middle, going nowhere. That was Jeremiah Bodwin on the tackle. As that will go as a gain of 1. And really, this is not the situation you need to be running at. 1:35 remaining, and they're just taking their time.
Well, I think they're going to, their possession's their possession. They're going to let the second half take care of itself.
Boy, if I'm NC, I sure want to get a score here, though.
As this one's going to be a good carry by Rodriguez, up for the first down. That will get him up to the 45 with the healthy spot, but they're down under 1:15 remaining. That was a good run there as Evans came back onto the field as he had the lead block on Partridge. As Rodriguez now going to roll out to his right. Has a man from his knees with the catch. Good job bringing it in there. And getting out of bounds on the catch was number 8, Chandler Caraway.
Yeah, nice route by Caraway, driving Omari off the line with him and just putting on the brakes and coming back in on that stop route. And Omari was still trailing downfield.
Rodriguez now 2 receivers to his left side. He's going to hand this one off to Evans, trying to go on the edge. No, forced out of bounds. That one's going to be Cooper Malin on the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going to get 3 and 5 yards on a carry, that kind of opens up your offense as far as what you can do, and they can kind of pick apart the secondary a little bit especially when they're showing run up to the line of scrimmage.
And the clock never stopped. About 10 seconds went off the clock there, as it looked like he got pushed out of bounds at about the 52-second mark. We're sitting at 40 on the scoreboard now.
And the Midland head coach is livid. They did lose, I think, about 12 seconds off that, and they're not putting it back on. Now they're winding the clock.
Coach McClendon is not having it. He's going to call a timeout. as another 4 seconds go off the clock. I don't think this is really for his players. He's wanting to have it in with the refs. As now we're looking at a good, 20 to 25 seconds that really should be on the clock if he went out of bounds.
Oh, wow. We've lost the hat.
Well, I think he's got a point. The clock didn't stop on the last play when the runner was forced out of bounds.
And we're watching this on the replay. Evans very clearly was not tackled. He was pushed out of bounds.
Well, you saw the side judge over there. As soon as he went out of bounds, make the motion to wind.
And so not only would this be a huge, 20 seconds that should be still on the clock, but that leaves Midland without a timeout. I don't agree with this call, but
I think the Midland Christian fans agree with you on that one.
And a flag is very quickly thrown on the play as that gain will go for none. It would be 3rd and 7. 31 seconds left in the second quarter. And that's going to be an offsides against the Panthers. Should still keep it at 3rd down, but now 3rd and short. 31 seconds remaining. And interesting, you look at the scoreboard, still 2 timeouts remaining for the Mustangs, but the clock has not gone back to where it should be. Make it 2nd and 2.
Well, I mean, when clock management's your game and they take that away from you.
Rodriguez now going to look to his left. Takes it up the middle, will keep it. Catching him from behind is Jones, and that's going to be enough for the first down.
They got to call a timeout here.
13 seconds left on the clock.
Number 3, Rodriguez on the carry.
They will not. They're trying to call a play in.
Good for a first down.
I'll take the clock stop on the chain movement, but they're set it up right there.
They need to get it off now. Down to 7. As Jones couldn't make the tackle, Rodriguez is going to keep it himself. Finally does, down to 0. And no time left on the clock. Coach McClendon is almost to the hash marks. As it looks like for now that will be the end of the first half. The Panthers are running off the field.
I'd leave. You're going to give me free 10 seconds? I'd leave.
Well, you've got another coach there at the hash mark right around the 21-yard line giving him an earful. Surprising to me, guys, that they didn't take a timeout after that first down. I know the clock stopped, but take your timeout, get rested, get a play in.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take it with you.
No. No. Call the timeout there, get reset. You literally have probably 2 shots to take at the end zone if you stop that clock at 8 seconds or 10 seconds.
I mean,
and for some reason they didn't do it.
And at what point is the coaching staff just, I understand, that completely takes your playbook out because you're worried about the 20 seconds that should be on the clock. So you're more focused on that than you are trying to get the players set and ready to go.
Yeah, maybe in hindsight, you go ahead and you take a timeout there when the clock got messed up, and you calm everybody down, get everybody back to where they need to be, refocus, and it still leaves you 1 timeout. Most of your passes go to the sideline anyway in this offense. You can run little 5-yard, 8-yard outs and stop the clock all the way down the field. Midland Christian next door to us, they were not happy when they left.
No, they are not having it. But we will take a quick break here at the half, 24 minutes. We will be back for the second half of action as Parish leads this one 34-7. This game brought to you by Game On Sports Productions. We'll be back for the start of the second half of action between Parish Episcopal and Midland Christian.
School is fantastic. You feel you're involved in every step of the decision-making process that really makes a big difference to me.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
The service after the sale is something that will keep bringing my wife and I back as Sewell customers. Give them about 48 hours, tell them what you need service for. They bring you a loan car, pick up your car, take it back, do the service, and come and pick up the loan car. That's like being royalty. If that doesn't invoke loyalty, I don't know what does. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
In the end, it's not the politician that builds this country. It's the entrepreneur, carrying the world's largest economy on their shoulders, putting Americans back to work. Really, they're the only ones who ever could. We've always been the entrepreneur's bank for the century behind and the century ahead. Vista Bank. Entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
At Evoqua, we work to protect the world's most valuable resource, water. We lead with our vision for a sustainable future by responding to the evolving global water demands with an ever-expanding portfolio, reinventing service with Water One, transforming waste into a valuable resource. At Evoqua, we are united by our purpose, transforming water, enriching life.
The way Sewell treats me is, I feel important. I feel like I'm in first-class service each and every time I come to Sewell. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
Lieutenant Abby Jackson, Junior Lieutenant Emma Bland, Senior Lieutenant Tony Buskin, Senior Lieutenant Abby Swartzwelder, Senior First Lieutenant Eugene Lee, and your Captain, Senior Emma Denhire. The Rosette of the Week is Miss Maddie Collins. Miss High Kick 2020 is Sophie Pong. Let the Rosettes get you into the holiday spirit with a high kick routine to Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing, a bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, the right time is the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, a jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle and jingle the beat. That's the jingle bell rock. Jingle
And here they are, the Parish Rosettes. The Rosette managers are Miss Rachel London and Mr. Adam Spencer. The directors of the Parish Rosettes are Mrs. Megan Bowen and Mrs. Sarah Snyder. We want to recognize our Parish Panther cheerleaders. The competition team will be traveling to Belton on Monday for the TAP State Cheer Competition. Good luck, ladies. The varsity cheerleader of the week is Alex Levinson. The JV cheerleader of the week is Ella Forson. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Swole is fantastic. You feel you're involved in every step of the decision-making process. That really makes a big difference to me.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
The service after the sale is something that will keep bringing my wife and I back as Sewell customers. Give them about 48 hours, tell them what you need service for. They bring you a loan car, pick up your car, take it back, do the service, and come and pick up the loan car. That's like being royalty. If that doesn't invoke loyalty, I don't know what does. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
In the end, it's not the politician that builds this country. It's the entrepreneur, carrying the world's largest economy on their shoulders, putting Americans back to work. Really, they're the only ones who ever could. We've always been the entrepreneur's bank for the century behind and the century ahead. Vista Bank. Entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
At Evoqua, we work to protect the world's most valuable resource, water. We lead with our vision for a sustainable future by responding to the evolving global water demands with an ever-expanding portfolio, reinventing service with Water One, transforming waste into a valuable resource. At Evoqua, we are united by our purpose, transforming water, enriching life.
The way Sewell treats me is, I feel important. I feel like I'm in first-class service each and every time I come to Sewell. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac or SewellCadillac.com.
We 3 American-made sports cars, powered by modified Ford stock engines, made an incredible 1-2-3 sweep of the world's most coveted endurance championship, the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Somebody decay, I'm white in the coupe and inside the beige. Like I've been doing it for days. So many dead faces, I got me a grade. My hands like you say shit every day. I pop me and shit, one got stuck in my throat. She's rolling up crazy, I don't need a vote. Yo, super ready, she at my side, no, I stay with it, now let's call me my life. No girl is in my emoji is dope. Bounce on my life, got my back on the road. Too real, I can't turn my back on the ropes. To the tech, to the 50 shade. And it's a boy, cause we really late. I got some love to go with this hate. Oh, we finally made it. And then in with all of Mercedes. Spending her M in the marble, you crazy. Bitches that shit, and I trust your old lady. She needs this business, so you gotta pay me. Fall out of gold and I'm ready to spin it. We drop the ball and I got it, we win. Spaceship full of fire that rain. They know who I am, I ain't love to do nothing. It didn't take long, I ran on the rack. All the men like it, ain't taking it back. I should've played linebacker, I want to sack. I got to keep it putting all of my day. I got the better and shoes to match. I'm putting the hood, I'm keeping my racks. I put the baddest shit, booty, she racks. I get them flipped and I buy them a cash. I serve a real, I ain't just like a rack. I got one soul and we the class. I got a 31 doing gymnastics. I sold the brick, it was still in the pack. 6,500 was spent on this coat. Then the color was snowing the coat. I don't want no cars, I'm saving my money, I ain't gonna move. Don't want no hand, I bet ain't no joke. They listen up when I speak on the phone. I'm bringing cash, ain't paying no note. I got this shit, this and get it on show. The tech to the 50 shade. And it's a bug, cause we really late. I got some love to go with this hate. And my we finally made it. And then in with all of Mercedes. Spend a whole M in the marble, you crazy. Bitches that shit, and I trust your old lady. Shit, this is business, so you gotta pay me. Yeah, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing, slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? Tired of beefing you bums, you can't even pay me enough to react. Been waking up in the crib and sometimes I don't even know where I'm at. Please don't pay that Thompson's party, I can't even listen to that. Anytime that I rain with somebody, it must be a victory lap. Hey, shawty come sit on my lap. Hey, they saying Drizzy just snap. This in between us is not at the store, this is an approachable gap. Hey, I see some attack, and don't end up making it back. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad, but they didn't like down bad. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing, slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? I'm in the trenches, relax. Can you not play that little boy in the club? Cause we do not listen to rats. We in a ladder, I got her weed, she telling me Ted's the best. Pointed it, I like a killer, but you only one from the neck. I'm like the baby, I'm like this around me, you play with me, you won't be stressed. Bring drinks to the hood, surround Drake round. Even though I got a case, I'ma do what it takes. And I never been embraced, and the money's hard to make. So I bet they on their face right now. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad, but they didn't like down bad. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing, slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? When he tell the story, that's not how I went. Know they be lying 100%. Moved out of the risk, but got out of bed. Now they just call me the time they come get it. Now they boy up and I don't want credit. If it was me, they wouldn't regret it. Left me with dead and now they want dead it. Yeah. All they still beating my, still eat it. They got it look like they want to eat it. Pillow talk with her, spilling the tea. They try to get back and said she didn't mean it. It's hard to believe it. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad. What they had didn't last, damn baby. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where they be at when they say they going out this night? Get demons up out of me. Turn to a beast with your arteries. Just seizing opponent so properly. Unleashing the dumps of what got to me. We come to take show. Foot on the gas, hit the motor. Switching my thoughts on bipolar. I stare in the eyes of a cobra. Say you don't smoke, come get it. You wanna play dumb, I'm with it. I'm about to take over the city. I came with my committee gang with it. Came for the bag and the profit. Looking for the way when we got it. We ain't scared nobody. Bop, bop, that's a whole body. Bop. On the dark side, it can get cold. It's a cold case. In my right mind, I can ride till I broke my head. Still a 10, now I left wrist in that soul place. On my knees, thanking God that He got me through the pain. Danger, danger. I don't feel that I'm a stranger. Believer, I can take out all the evil. Empowerment to all my people. I can prove to you I'm a leader. Run through the money, no visa. Forgive me, cause my life illegal. Searching for the bag and the prize. On a mission looking for the bad guys. Can't run no play up on my head, I'm real wise. Look at his eyes, why I think he traumatized. Take me as a joke, I'ma hang him on the road. Cause where I'm from, we don't play like that on our side. Better not free, cause we know you gon' joke. Talk behind my back, but your shots backfire. I know you tried, but you never could survive. I see the fears in your eyes. Run like Forrest, they're trying to hide. They criticize in the skies. They know I can only tell the truth. They know what you do is tell lies. I'm about to take a bit of city, tell me what you with it, cause I know my squad gon' ride. On the dark side, it can get cold, it's a cold case. In my right mind, I can ride till I broke my head. Still a 10, now I left wrist in that soul place. On my knees, thanking God that He got me through the pain. Danger, danger. I don't feel that I'm a stranger. Believer, I can take out all the evil. Empowerment to all my people. I can prove
At Evoqua, we work to protect the world's most valuable resource, water. We lead with our vision for a sustainable future by responding to the evolving global water demands with an ever-expanding portfolio, reinventing service with Water One, transforming waste into a valuable resource. At Evoqua, we are united by our purpose, transforming water, enriching life.
We are just about ready for the start of the second half of action here at beautiful Abilene Christian University, Anthony Field in Abilene, Texas. Again, this game brought to you by Game On Sports Productions. With Jim Dixon, I'm Jackson Donovan. Forrest Baldwin still with us here in the box, Emily Stone on the sideline. And things really couldn't have gone any better there in the first half for Parish. They lead 34-7 after jumping out to a 14-point lead there in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and there was some penalty shenanigans, some discipline issues as far as penalties. But other than that, it's been flawless the first half. They've executed their game plan. They played defense well. They've dominated on the line of scrimmage, and they've done what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, nothing really much to complain about other than a few penalties. Offensively, in the groove, I think Stone is 10 for 10 with 3 touchdowns right now. And importantly, from a defensive standpoint, you've got Evans limited to 50 yards rushing. And that is your hoss if you're Midland Christian. And you've got him shut down pretty well. And, you know, hey, more of the same. Don't let up and keep rolling, Jim.
Yeah.
Now for Midland, as they receive this kick, as that one's going to go out of bounds, kicked away by Blaine Bowman. They have had a little bit of that slack picked up. River Rodriguez, 12 carries for 68 yards. He's averaging a little bit over 5.5 yards a carry. He really has picked up that slack for the Mustang offense.
Yeah, and he's been, he's kind of the driver on offense. He sets the tone, and they don't do a lot with the passing game, but for sure he exploits openings up the middle and gets carries gets yards when he busts loose for carries.
You're right, he does. The problem you run into, though, if you're relying on your quarterback to be your leading rusher at this point, there's not just a whole lot of options you have offensively in running that quarterback. It's pretty much straight ahead, go left, go right, and go that way with it.
Yeah, I mean you can kind of come out and dip your toe in the water with the veer or option as they've done, but not consistently enough to move the needle. But it's got them yards, and they just need to find Midland just needs to find some kind of place to settle in and start building from.
They need some sort of, you're right, Jim, they need something that they can define themselves with so far, and they just haven't found it.
And so it was elected, the Mustangs decided to let the Panthers kick it away again, but Cedric Mays is going to get down there for the good tackle on the coverage, as it will be starting from the 22-yard line for the Mustangs. Giving a little bit of an update from the other semifinal game. Fort Worth Nolan Catholic has jumped out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. The struggle has started offensively for All Saints. Hampton Fay is 0 for 7 with an interception there in the first quarter. Jimmy Taylor for Nolan is 3 for 7, 94 yards and a touchdown. So that game over at Globe Life Field, the winner of that one will await the winner of this game here in Abilene. Mustangs going to start with the ball here at the beginning of the second half. Rodriguez is going to keep it himself. Good carry on first down of a gain of about 6.
Yeah, and he just stripped outside the end, broke contain and got loose. and they got to answer that. Parish needs to answer that on the line. They need to make sure their ends are going to be free to kind of play like linebackers and make decisions rather than getting knocked off their line like that.
Make it 2nd and 4 now, 11:20 remaining in the third quarter. Rodriguez in the shotgun. Evans next to him. Man in motion now. This one's going to be handed off to Evans. He gets hit early. That's going to be Kenneth Borders there as he'll get the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and he has been able to bust loose, get outside and bust loose on that stuff in previous games and earlier in this game, and they've just shut it down as of late.
3rd and 4 in the face of the Mustangs, needing to get to the 32-yard line to pick up the first down. This could be a huge defensive stop here to start the second half for the Panthers as they try and really set the tone here in the third quarter. Defensive line shift. Rodriguez is going to roll, looks to his left, middle of the field, has a man, breaks the first tackle of Demery, but Borders finally bringing him down from behind. That one's going to be caught by Jack King on the good reception there to extend the drive, give him to the 50.
Yeah, and that's the passing attack that they've exploited earlier in the first half, where they settle guys into an area and see if they can get it to open up. And Borders made that tackle and should have been nowhere near him. And good pursuit and a good tackle by Borders.
Rodriguez is going to look to his right now, goes far side. That's going to be Batman Mitchell there in coverage. That's short, incomplete.
Yeah, and they're stopping those out routes or those stop routes. They're able to cover those, whereas where Midland's able to make more ground in the middle of the field on that middle third after the linebackers open up or after they concede to the run.
Rodriguez in the shotgun, man in motion. They're going to option this off to the left. Pitches it over to Evans. He breaks the first tackle but goes out of bounds. That one's going to be a pickup of about 5, make it 3rd and 5.
Good job with Amari then, battling off his block, running up and getting Evans down. Yeah, the reading again, that option's so much better now. You can tell they worked on it in practice. They studied it in film. Their defense of it is really, really getting good. And running the option to the short side of the field, something you usually don't see.
At the 45, Rodriguez is going to look to his left. Has Evans open, but Jones couldn't get the pick. Evans able to get it on the tip drill, and that one goes for a first down. An incredible job that time by Evans to stay with it as he's able to bring that down for the first.
Yeah, and that's just athletic play. That's kid being an athlete and taking advantage of it. And that's too bad because Jones skied up and got a meat hook on it and should have brought it down or could have.
Running with it there is Rodriguez. He'll get it out to the flat, and that's Mitchell there for the tackle. Getting to catch that time was number 9, Jack King.
Now all of a sudden it's the Jack King show.
Only 1 catch there in the first half. He's got 2 here in the first 4 minutes. And so moving down the field well is Midland. Looked like they were going to get stopped early, but no, they have it. Under 9.5 minutes remaining in the third. Rodriguez still going. He'll spin out, rolls to his right, trying to go all the way. No, that's overthrown. Intended man that time was number 8, Chandler Caraway.
Yeah, and that usually doesn't end up well when you're running a timing route. When he has to visually pick him up, especially when he's rolled off the handoff fake to create space where they're going to get that middle linebacker to commit. That doesn't bode well.
Rodriguez now 2 men to his left. Play clock down to 10. Snap comes back. He'll roll to his left, looking for a man. Does cross the middle. No. That one's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to the running back, Sean Madison.
Yeah, and Demery came up and contested that, and that's what they've been making hay with all as far as their passing attack thus far this game. They're splitting linebackers, and they're making the safeties come up and commit, and they're finding those holes. And Demery contested that and shut that thing down.
And so taking their time, getting to the line, 9:13 remaining in the third quarter of play. It is fourth down, 6 to gain to get the first. Has a man downfield at the sideline. No, that's going to be incomplete. Batted away. Good job there coming from the second effort is Partridge, and that will be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and Partridge played that perfectly. Played his hands, came up through the ball, and that's, he did. It's just textbook of what you work on week in, week out, day in, day out at practice.
But you saw that receiver run that stop and go route where he's driving off the line hard, pulls up, goes past, and Partridge from the safety position coming over right at the last second, reaching out and knocking that ball down. Great defensive play.
And now Preston Stone in. This one's going to be a handoff to Christian Benson, first play of the drive. That one's going to be a gain of about 8, taking him up to the 42. Given another update from that semifinal game, Nolan Catholic has jumped out to a 14-0 lead. They're still in the first quarter.
Yeah, and they're once again, Midland Christian is trying to find something that's working on the line, and they're showing blitz, they're showing a lot of down linemen. They're going to drop in coverage and see if Parish can take advantage of whatever they open up to.
Stone's going to hand this one off to Paul. That's quickly brought down. Give him a gain of 1. Make it 3rd and 1 now. Need to get to the 44-yard line for the first down.
Yeah, you may be seeing a steady dose of Benson and Paul right here. 3rd and 1. You got man coverage on the outside. I'm not saying you take a shot downfield on 3rd and 1. Probably feel pretty confident you can get to 4th and 1. But crazier things have happened.
Under 8 minutes remaining. Stone's going to hand this one off to Benson. He quickly busts it outside. Now looking for a block by Hill. Gets it on the edge, and he will go out of play inside the 35 of the Mustangs. That will be a first down into enemy territory.
Yeah, and that was another situation where they showed more than what they typically do on the line, and then they dropped into coverage and they took advantage of it where they opened up a seam and he just got some ground because he could get outside that end.
1st and 10 at the Mustang 33-yard line. 2 receivers now in the backfield with Stone. This one's going to go to Paul. He'll take it up the outside. Good fake by Stone there. Gets a little bit of help there faking out the linebackers, but that's going to be a carry by Paul up that left side. Benson lead blocking for a gain of 9.
Yeah, again, they're taking advantage of that line where their success has been on defense with 3 down linemen, and then trying to stop them with the linebackers, and now they're dropping in coverage and there's too much to adjust to, and these backs are just too fast for them.
Boy, they are on their heels now too. Whether it's Benson or Paul, it doesn't matter. It's going forward.
Paul's going to get this one now. He's getting brought down by the T-shirt. One of those that if, we were in the 90s, that would have ripped away. Now with the dry fit, it's going to stay, and he'll get brought down.
The days of the tearaway jersey.
So
that's more 80s,
You got to
70s,
go back
80s.
to the 70s for that.
Yeah. With the great Billy Sims.
They stopped the tearaway jersey in the 80s. That was awesome. You had to bring a trunkload of those.
Oh, yeah.
Stone in the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. He'll now move up to make some changes.
And the problem is you and I are old enough to remember that, Jim.
That's right.
Thanks, guys. 6:28 remaining. This pass is going to go to the outside. Jai Moore with it. Breaks 1 tackle. Goes out of bounds now. But enough for a first down, getting them inside the red zone once again.
Yeah, and he, again, another stop route where he came back in to create space. And they had 3 guys out there to stop him, and he just settled in for an open spot, made the grab, and turned around and got another 7 yards.
6:21 remaining here in the third quarter of play. Our score still stands at 34-7 as Panthers are down to the 17-yard line of the Mustangs. This one's going to be handoff to Paul Benson with a good pickup on the block. Paul's going to take this one down to the 15, give him a gain of 2 on first down.
Again, that kind of snuffed that out. They're closing them into space. They got bigger bodies down there on the D line now, and they're kind of backing away from that smaller package, and that's that kind of stopped at that series or that play.
And it turns out Fort Worth All Saints has scored, making that a 14-7 game. We will continue to keep you updated on that one, as these are the only 2 games left here in TAPS Division I.
Changing the play at the line.
Trips on the left for Stone. He'll look that way. Whistle blown. And a timeout's going to be called by Coach Novikov. And he'll want to talk it over with the offense. 5:32 remaining in the third quarter. And this quarter has had a pretty good pace to it.
It really has. When you're talking about essentially Parish running the ball all the way down the field, it's taking time off that clock, which is exactly what you want to have happen if you're Parish.
We're going to send it down to Emily Stone for an update from the sideline. Emily?
Hey guys, so I'm here down with a little bit over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. It is flying by, just a little over 5 minutes left. And I'm here to say that the rain has not come yet, but you can definitely sense it. And it is still 55 degrees, but you can tell that these players are hot. They are having a good time. They're really enjoying this game. And it'll be really interesting to see what happens in these next about 18-ish minutes.
Thanks, Emily. We are over halfway through the third quarter now. Empty backfield for Stone. Trips to his left. He'll look that way. Has Youngblood on a quick curl. He's going to get it to him inside the 10. And near the first down marker. It's going to be close.
And, Preston Stone just had a ton of options on that. And, again, back to his smarts. He's looking away. And then he comes back into the throw, and he's keeping this defense, in particular the linebackers, off balance.
And Youngblood running that whip route out of the slot. You just can't cover that. You just can't cover it.
Getting the big man unit in there as we see Malloy and Addison check into the game. This one's going to go to Paul up the middle. It's got enough for the first, reaches for the end zone. But they're going to say his knee was down at the 1, so he will be short. But that will be enough for making it a comfortable 2nd and 1.
I thought he had it.
Yeah, he put that ball out there trying to break the plane, didn't he?
I think the ball very well got through, but it looks like the knee got down a little early.
Stone on the keeper.
And Stone will keep it, and it's into the end zone for the score, as Parish just keeps extending their lead. 40-7 now. 4:26 remaining in the third quarter. We'll see Blaine Bowman come on for the extra point attempt.
Well, that's what you had to have, for Parish coming out, especially with Midland Christian getting the ball to start. You needed that defensive stop and then take it right back down the field, get your points, and that certainly helped solidify where we are in the game.
Extra point attempt is up and good. 41-7 is our score. 4:26 remaining in the third quarter of play, and just extending this out. Not that I think we talked about this during the break. This is definitely not the game we expected to come in on this one.
After what we saw earlier in October going to Midland, all bets were off. I knew that Parish had to perform as they did, to keep the ball out of Midland's hands and not let them dictate pace, and they were very successful doing it.
Yeah, if you would have told me 41-7 and midway through the third, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought we were going to be much closer, maybe a 30-25 type game. And football's a game of breaks. You get the good kickoff return to start the game, followed by the fumble with Midland Christian on their return. Take that down and score. You're 14-0 right there, Jim. And that within 2 minutes of the game, by the way.
Right.
And that is just a huge momentum builder.
Well, and a lot of times the special teams is ignored in the game plan, and that's where a lot of your shift happens. That's where a lot of your momentum occurs. And and Parish has obviously addressed this a lot better than what Midland has.
As the kickoff is taken just shy of the 30, make it the 29. That's going to be where the Mustangs take over. 4:20 remaining in the third quarter of play, and this one really just trying to stay alive, getting a score, or at least getting some points up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're going to have to start airing the ball out this series, something that they're not, I think, entirely comfortable doing. They're about 3-1 run to pass, but they're going to have to move the ball down the field.
Yeah, they got to get out of their comfort zone, and a lot of times that's where stuff changes, is when you get out of your comfort zone.
And trying to get rid of it quickly, but Jaden Jones there with every inch of his frame staring down Rodriguez and bats that one away.
That is a large young man with some height and some wingspan right there that you're trying to throw through.
Well, he got some skies, and Rodriguez is 5'10", and the matchup.
Yeah, and that's what you want your defensive ends to do.
Didn't happen.
If you're not going to get to the quarterback, get your arms up and get it into the passing lane.
Rodriguez is going to keep this one himself. Gets brought down. That's Jalen Hall right on the first effort. Keegan Assen coming in for the help, as that will be a gain up to the 32-yard line. Make it 3rd and about 6.
And, yeah, I mean, they have to just start. They need to really, as we said, get out of their comfort zone and start throwing it around and see if they can dictate some momentum that way. But it doesn't play well for them because it gets them out of their game plan.
Rodriguez rolling to his right, looks for a man at the flat, had Evans, but that one's going to be incomplete. Make it 4th and 7.
Yeah, I don't know if that was going to turn out very positive if he reeled that thing in anyway.
Yeah, they had that far receiver was double teamed. The only outlet they had was to Evans, and linebacker had him just blanket covered.
So it will bring it to 4th down, needing to get up to the 39-yard line to pick up the first, but the punt unit will come onto the field. Dawson Bullard back to kick it away. Demery and Benson back just past the Panther 40-yard line. This one will be a low screamer. Demery's going to field this one. Tries to take it to the middle of the field, but a flag is thrown in the direction of Amari Hayes.
I think we're going to have a block in the back there.
Hayes, not typically a blocker. Might need to work on his footwork a little bit.
Well, it's one of the things if you're a special team player that coaches emphasize at the beginning of the season and then every week of practice. If you can read the name on the back of the jersey,
don't touch him.
Don't touch him. And it sounds like an easy concept, but in the heat of battle sometimes you're trying to make a play, that player will spin on you, and next thing you know, your hands are on his back and he's on the ground and you got 10 yards going the other way.
And that was the call. It was a block in the back. Will push Paris back to the 39-yard line. They will take over 1st and 10, 3:28 remaining in the third quarter of play.
Yeah, and Parish needs to, they need to maintain momentum and hang on to the ball, and just keep trucking along upfield, and as long as you have the ball, they don't.
Stone's going to get this one a play action. Quickly looking over to Jai Moore. Great spin move, but the ball's free. Mustangs pick it up, but a flag is down. Not sure what the flag is for, but Jai Moore hit the quick spin move and lost the ball. Jumping all over it was a linebacker for the Mustangs.
I think Demery was out there on the block, and they may get him.
They will. It will be a hold call on Demery. So the ball will go over to the Mustangs as they have new life. 3:19 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's going to kill you, but it certainly is a setback, to turn that thing over, and that's what you'd hope to do is just avoid that.
And so look to see if Rodriguez and that offense can make the most of this opportunity. They start at the Parish 35-yard line. Going to be 3 receivers set now for Rodriguez. He'll hand that one off to Evans. Goes up the middle moves past Bodwin, but brought down for a gain of 2.
Yeah, Foster Malloy blew that play up. He
Right.
just flat came through the line, had his lineman pushed back right about the point of handoff. And anytime you're trying to run an offensive play and your offensive linemen are at the point of handoff, things aren't going to go well.
Trips now to the left for Rodriguez. He'll keep this one himself. Looks for a man. Cross the middle, no. And no flags on the play. That one will be incomplete.
And this goes to the Parish coaching. I mean, that was, for the most part, other than penalties, a flawless first half. And they came out and they focused on adjustments. And these kids have listened to that, and they've made these adjustments. They've closed the passing lanes down. They're more disciplined on the line, where they're closing those lanes, and what Midland typically scrapes along the line and then exploits an opening. They're closing those up.
This one's going to be a quick pass. Borders goes head on with Evans. That one will be a gain of about 1.
He is so fast.
It is incredible when he gets a full head of steam going. As we see him, he just came out of nowhere from the second level, laid a lick down on Evans. So it will be 4th and 8, needing to get up to the 25-yard line. Quickly gets it out to Evans. Addison trying to catch him. No, he's going to get the first, pushed out of bounds. 2 yards past the needed first down line, and I think you and I saw the same thing up here, Jim. He needs to watch out for that horse collar.
Yeah, he I think the only saving grace is being outside, but he kind of grabbed him a little high.
Well, Borders initially on the coverage of Evans. As Evans comes out of the backfield into the flat for that pass, Borders peeled off of him to try and get to Rodriguez. And then Rodriguez just dumps it off, and Addison catches up with him.
Now rolling far side, getting a hand on it. There was Mitchell. Oh, if only he had reached up with both mitts, he might have brought that down, but that's going to be incomplete.
I think he thought he was closer to the receiver than he was, and I don't think he realized he was in the open space that he was.
Well, I'm watching Rodriguez roll out, and then as soon as he lets go of the ball, I look downfield, and number 9 standing wide open in the end zone. I'm about to get a touchdown, guys. And then Mitchell jumps right back into the play, tips that ball away.
Minute 57 remaining in the third quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 23 of the Panthers. Rodriguez is going to move this one in motion over to Evans on the pitch. And Evans trying to fight forward for any extra yardage he can get. That's going to be a gain of 2 yards, make it 3rd and 8.
Yeah, I'm afraid if Evans goes to class on Monday, he may have a couple of Parish Panthers with him in first period, because they know exactly where he is at all times.
Down to a minute 30 remaining on the clock. Rolling out now is Rodriguez, trying to find some space. Gets it down low to Evans. Borders there with the hit. Addison with the help, and almost no gain, as I think we're seeing the 2019 Kenneth Borders come to play.
This is circa 2019 Borders linebacker play. And it's great to see. I know the kid had an elbow issue. First play of the first game, right?
Yeah.
And to come back from that, and now really starting to peak in the semifinals, that's great to see the young man bounce back.
Yeah, and Evans, after that hit, he came to the sideline. He just looks flat wore out.
Hey, the kid's a workhorse. Hats off to Evans.
Rodriguez now trying to go for it all. Partridge there, no. Out of reach for him. That's going to be incomplete, so turnover on downs. And the Panthers will take over again. 36 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play.
Yeah, and I mean, at Parish, they're going to come out and exercise some discipline. Hopefully, not turn the ball over, and just maintain possession, do what they're supposed to do, and then unfortunately, if you bought stock in blue tape, that day is over with. The blue spats may be done for the season.
So 36 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Stone comes out, 2 receivers to either side. Paul in the backfield joining him. This one's going to be a handoff to Paul up the middle, trying to keep those feet churning and moving. He gets it up to the 29-yard line. Good carry there on first down.
Yeah, and that end just closed contain on him, and he just went inside on him and got the yards he needed.
And it looks like Stone is going to wave his guys off for the end of the quarter, so that will do it for the third. Our score stands at 41-7. We are going to send it down to the sideline for a quick update from Emily Stone. Emily?
Hey guys, going into the fourth quarter and what's looking like what's about to be a Parish win, I wanted to highlight the teammates that don't always get to go into the game. Each teammate is on this sideline attending every team meeting for whichever position they're playing, defense, offense, special teams, and every single teammate is cheering on the people on the field. You can tell that this team is really a brotherhood, which is something that Preston Stone has talked about in previous interviews, that this group of guys is something special, and it's really proving so down here on the sideline.
Thanks, Emily. So 3 quarters down, score stands at 41-7. Parish can really do no wrong, and they've just keeping it going there in the third quarter. But a little bit of look, Fort Worth All Saints has tied up the game 14-all, as All Saints and Nolan Catholic, of course, that game being played at Globe Life Field, and Arlington all tied up at 14 apiece. Of course, a little crosstown rivalry there for the state semifinals.
Well, the way the TAPS is shaking out right now, and everybody's in the same district, it's hard to get out of the same area without having crosstown, this town, something or other, because everybody's coming from the north.
This is the third straight playoff game for Parish that has been a district rematch. In fact, the only teams remaining are District 1 opponents. So Stone's going to roll out. He'll move to his right. Flag's going to be thrown as that one over to Nathaniel Hill, incomplete. That one looks like it'll probably be a hold on the offensive line.
Yeah, typically when you get a flag like that in the backfield on a pass play, yeah, holding the indication.
But given a look at the talent that comes out of District 1, this North Texas group, you look at just even in the region quarterfinals, only one school in the region quarterfinals was not from this district, and it was St. Thomas who had a bye in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the way TAPS is shaking out. This is the way a number of sports, have shaken out, where everything comes out of one area, and it ebbs and flows, and at some point it'll change, but not this year.
Not this year. So Stone in the backfield, trips to his left. Paul in the backfield with him. He's going to keep it himself off the play fake, looking to get rid of it to Youngblood downfield. Oh no! At the 50, bobbles it twice, but incomplete. Trying to take the top off there at midfield. No good. It's going to be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I think his feet did him in on that. He was kind of stumbling a little bit into the reception, and not having his feet set right kind of messed him up a little bit.
Great throw from Stone, though.
Oh, sure.
Rolling to your left, play action, roll to your left, and just lays it on the money right at him.
Stone will fake this handoff. Moving to his right now, trying to find some space. Backing up, gets rid of it, tries to get, never mind, that will be out of bounds. Nathaniel Hill in the area, but just trying not to take the sack. That will go out of play. 4th and 11, and the quote-unquote punt team will come onto the field, a.k.a. Stone in a deeper shotgun.
There's some personnel changes, I think. I don't remember exactly. They do. I will say this much: they do have the biggest deep protection that I've ever seen.
They do. They're probably trotting out about 700 pounds there in the punt second level, as Stone's going to get this one away, end over end roller. And that will go inside the 40, make it the 39 of the Mustangs, and that is where Midland Christian will take over for their first drive of the fourth quarter, 11:28 remaining. 41-7 our score, Parish still leading. And we talk about it every single week and try not to beat a dead horse, but Parish is just impressive, especially with Preston Stone in the backfield.
Yeah, Jackson, you're absolutely right. To watch the guy grow over the last 4 years at the quarterback position, and just from what he was as a freshman to where he is now as a senior, likely going to play in his second state championship game in a row. The guy is, I'm not going to blaze any new trails here, but he's something special.
He is definitely something special, and not just the fact of most likely the second straight state championship, but he hasn't done worse in the state semis in 3 years.
Yeah, and I just happened to look back to his first year at Parish. We went 5-7 and 2-5 in district his first year here.
A little bit of a pretty good turnaround.
Yeah, pretty good turnaround.
And so Rodriguez is going to pitch this one out, but Borders is there reading it all the way, giving him just about to the original line of scrimmage. But, Forrest, you and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Some important anniversaries came up this past week.
Yeah, they did, and always great memories when you get around to the first week of December with Parish football program. December 4th, which was yesterday, was the 10-year anniversary of our first state championship win over Fort Worth Christian. A 49-41 barn burner, one of the craziest football games I have ever seen or been a part of.
As that one will be taken up the middle by Rodriguez, cross midfield, and down to the opposing 45-yard line. Make it 1st and 10, but just incredible. Just you look in the last 10 years, 3 state championships, and now looking to move on to a 4th chance at another title.
It's really the tradition of winning that was established back here from when we didn't have a football field, and we were practicing on really kind of a dirt parking lot area, to where we are now is just a testament to the administration, to the coaches, to the student athletes that have come through this program.
This one's going to be handed off. Pitch to Evans on the outside. Give him a gain of 1. And you can definitely say the defensive changes that were made here at halftime have really paid off.
Yeah, I think they're just a lot more disciplined. The fact that the linebackers are coming in and just basically, they're kind of an additional pseudo end, and they're closing that edge and just stretching the play where they really can't get around them. But they're not biting on these silly fakes, and they're taking what they're getting and they're stopping them.
Down to 8:15 remaining in the final quarter of play. Rodriguez is going to keep this himself. Keegan Addison meets him and will take him down at the 41-yard line. But looking back to last season, it was an impressive run. You start the year with an ESPN game. You go all the way through undefeated. You had a few close games, like the Fort Worth All Saints loss. I apologize, not undefeated. Yeah, the Fort Worth All Saints loss, and then you really get back on track and go undefeated the rest of the year, including an incredible playoff run where no team really came close.
You want a fun Parish football fact?
There you go. Hit me with it.
All right. Every state championship year, we have lost one football game, and this will break that record.
Well, we do have.
We have a loss.
We have a loss, don't we?
Nolan Catholic.
Nolan Catholic.
Yes.
See, I can't hold that against you too much because it wasn't at Gloria H. Snyder Stadium. So you weren't high atop.
I wasn't high, yes.
You weren't high atop Gloria H.
That's right. I want to forget that game.
There you go.
Okay.
But he was, because he was texting you, so he was cognizant
okay,
of the
so
game.
Let me rephrase that. Every year we've had a state championship team, we've had one loss.
There you have it.
There we have it. And this one might be a little bit sweeter because it could be a rematch against Nolan Catholic.
Yeah.
Rodriguez going to go deep here. Has a man that was going to be out of reach. Intended receiver there was Chandler Caraway, as that was Mitchell in coverage. As we currently stand, it's still 14-all between All Saints and Nolan Catholic. That game, those two teams played each other earlier in the year, and it wasn't that close, but it definitely wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, Mitchell hasn't exhibited. They've been playing mostly on their toes, but he just textbook, just walled them off, shut the pass lane off, and shut the pass down.
Evans is going to keep this himself, and he's proving he's not done yet. Huge carry there, over 15 yards. He found the edge and just kept on trucking, and You know, the effort that this young man has put out, you look at his jersey and it's just drenched. He has been absolutely incredible here today. It might not have gone their way, but that man is great out of the backfield.
No, he gives you a bunch of different things that you have the ability to do, and you know, he's solid running back, and you know, and pretty solid defensive player, and you know, the kid is a good player.
This one's going to be handed off by the Mustangs. Borders comes in and lays the hit down on the carry. There was Cole Gunner, as the junior most likely will be taking over ball carrying duties next season, as Evans is a senior.
You know, I like the fact that we're starting to see a lot of gang tackling between Keegan Addison and Kenneth Borders. You know, just on that last play, they teamed up for it. That means your linebacker play is starting to get dialed in at that point.
It's kind of hard to break a tackle when you have two all-state linebackers trying to bring you down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Under 7 minutes remaining now, as the Mustangs are inside the red zone, 2nd and 10. This one will be handed off to Gunner. He breaks off the first tackle. Addison couldn't bring him down, but in to help that time was Cooper Malin.
Yeah, they got him outside, just wrapped him up, and I mean they're making solid yard gains on the handoffs. The unfortunate side is there's just not a lot of clock left for him.
And you're seeing Keegan at middle linebacker now, really seeing the ball well, and flowing to the football and taking a good pursuit angle on that.
This one's going to be a fake handoff. Rodriguez is going to roll out to his left. Diving catch. Good effort that time, as bringing it down was number 86, Josh Keating, the senior tight end, with his second catch of the game.
Yeah, and that's too bad he couldn't have got that into his breadbasket where he could have got his head around, because he could have got some yards, maybe got to the end zone, and unfortunately just had to dive for it to make the play.
So subs coming in now, as it is 4th and 5 to gain. Need to get to the, looks like the 4-yard line.
That's the line of gain now, isn't it? If you want to be fancy.
It is. Yes, thank you.
Line of gain, line to gain.
Rodriguez still rolling out. Getting a hand on it that time was Trey Williams. That will bat it away. And 5:13 remaining in the 4th.
And, you know, that you look at that and think that's fairly pedestrian. He's in pursuit of that guy. He's got to make a decision on tackle or get his meat hooks up in the air. And he got a paw on it. That was a good play.
And so Stone and the offense will take over at now the line of scrimmage, 9-yard line. 1st and 10, 5:13 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Should see a steady diet of Paul and Benson, I would assume.
This one will go to Paul. He'll take it up the middle on a good gain. Stretches out to about the 20. And it looks like they're going to give him the first down. Taking a look at that All Saints Nolan Catholic game. Hampton Face started the game 0 for 7 with 1 interception. He is now 11 of 20 for 200 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
So
that's
turning
it
around, Fort Worth All Saints really has pulled the momentum. The game is still tied 14-all.
He might have had a face mask conversation. When that coach gets real cuddled up to you and starts explaining to you about how important it is that you do something correctly.
Make that 13 of 22 for 232 yards. Benson's going to try and break some tackles, can't get rid of all of them. He's going to get brought down for the loss, as that'll back them up to the 13-yard line. So I don't know what's happening over there in Arlington, but Fort Worth All Saints has really gotten it in gear.
You know, you look at a player like Benson, what I like about him is he does everything you ask him to do. You want to block? All right, coach, I'll block. You want me to go out and catch a pass? I'll catch a pass. You want me to run the football? I'll run the football. Special teams? Yeah, I'll play special teams. And it's just a special football player here at Parish.
And if you're Coach Novikov, you got to be chomping at the bits because you have a sophomore version of him in Cedric Mays waiting in the wing that he's shown good flashes here this season as Benson's going to get this one again on the flat. Cedric Mays is going to hop into this offense next season, and really they're not going to have to change the playbook very much.
No, he'll be able to fit right in to it and go out and perform. The good thing is these young guys have a great set of juniors and seniors to watch and learn how to play Parish football. Learn what it takes in the offseason, learn what it takes in the weight room, how to conduct yourself as a student athlete at Parish, how to conduct yourself on the football field.
And most importantly, how to win state championships.
Yeah. Shout out to 55 Jaden Williams on that last screen pass. The big man got out there fast.
Stone's going to drop back, looks to go deep, has Demery. No. Didn't quite get enough of it on his hands as that one's going to go incomplete. Make it, I believe, will be 4th and 6, and it is.
Yeah, I think Demery felt like he had him beat, and the DB just kind of climbed his heels a little bit and slowed him down.
And so with 3:02 remaining in the fourth, the punt unit will come back on.
Yeah, that is a big protection crew right there.
We just have UK back there. It's a big protection crew. This one's going to be a high punt. A little bit of side spin there for Stone, but it's going to take a good Parish bounce. And did exactly what it did the last time. Stop at the 39-yard line, and that's where the Mustangs will take over. 2:51 remaining in the final quarter of play. And so looking back at this season, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for Parish fans. You come into the season, you don't get a home game till the third game of the year. You can't quite raise the banner. And then you come out and you're looking at another state championship run.
Well, when I talked to Coach Novikov last night, I asked him about how it's been not only coaching but managing this football team during the pandemic and keeping the kids sort of steered the right direction in front of the different amounts of adversity they've had.
Evans is going to throw it now, and the kid's got an arm. But that one's going to be incomplete, just over the hands of number 8, Chandler Caraway. But it has been interesting to see how the season gets managed. You don't start games until October.
Well, you don't even know if you're going to have a season. There was a time there for a couple of weeks where we were questioning whether we were going to have a season. And then, to have the games canceled, and then now we're playing a shortened season, and here it is, what would have been state championship weekend. We're in the semifinal games. And with a lot of distractions. And the coaching staff has done a great job of keeping these kids focused.
Rodriguez is going to keep this himself. Looks like Malin and Borders there on the tackles. That's going to make it just about a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge this season for any team has been just how to manage, how do I manage my team? How do I keep kids encouraged with all the challenges that are facing them, not only at school. I mean, everything that you can imagine is thrown at these kids from getting COVID alerts in the middle of school to you name it. We have a U.S. fighter flyover. We have a flyover late.
Benefits of having the Air Force base just
down the road.
Just about. As that run's going to be good for the first down by Midland, as that takes us near
Number 3, Rodriguez on
2 minutes.
By number 88.
Well, even week to week, trying to figure out, okay, are we prepping for an opponent? We start to prep, and then some teams just had the rug pulled out from under them. Nope, sorry, we're not going to play.
And then you saw would have been a rematch with Bishop Lynch, and that game ended up getting scrubbed, giving Parish an extra week in between the Nolan Catholic game. This one's going to be a completed pass up.
Oh, ball's out.
But no, they will. He will be ruled down, and that will be close to the line needed to gain for the first. But it really has. You look from TAPS to UIL, plenty of UIL. If you're a fan of Dave Campbell Sports, you could see Matt Stepp on Twitter. He's announcing every single week, this team needs a game. This team is looking for a game. And Parish really hasn't had to deal with that this season that much. They've been very fortunate.
Very, very fortunate. Hats off to the administration, the athletic department, then the coaches for managing that situation over at Parish.
This was going to be a completed pass up to Aaron Torres. That was going to be a first down. Scoring update, Fort Worth All Saints has taken the lead 17-14 over Nolan Catholic.
On the stop is number 5.
If we were a little bit closer to Arlington,
I'd say let's go catch the
end of that. Let's go catch the second half of that game.
Well, you know what? If I stand on a tuna can, I can see it from here.
The view from up here really is spectacular here in what they call the big country. I mean, it is miles and miles of Texas from up here.
As Rodriguez is going to look across the middle, and that one's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it over to Jack King. As we saw Partridge coming in ready to lay that hit under a minute remaining, 44 seconds. Stand between Parish and a trip to Waco for another chance at winning a state championship.
Yeah, tomorrow, you talk about the history of Parish football. Tomorrow, December 6th, is the anniversary of our state championship in 2014 and our state championship last year.
This is going to be kept by Rodriguez off that left side, taking it up to the 30. But it really has been impressive what Parish has been able to do. They retooled one they won in 2010, retooled one in 14. Had a little bit of break there, about 5 years there between 2019 and now this year. Really didn't have to change much. That receiver core changed a little bit, but just a good job by Coach Novikov keeping his guys locked in, not getting a big head, and they're going back to the TAP State Championship. Rodriguez is going to keep this himself going across the middle, down to 5. That should do it. And
the
Midland fans are letting the air horns out. That will do it. Zeros have hit the scoreboard, and your Parish Panthers are going back to the state championship as they will await to face either Fort Worth All Saints or Nolan Catholic. But you have to give a lot of props to this Midland Christian team. They were a scary team coming out of District 1. They knocked off the number 1 seed out of District 2 in St. Thomas. And you can't say enough for the running back. Brad Evans has just been incredible all season long, over 12,000 yards carrying.
Yeah, in a team, a football program that has a history of state championship traditions out there in Midland.
Yeah, taco shit.
Past them if you were going to the state championship game. So, 5 Evans, the kid knows how to play the game. Congratulations on a great season, young man.
Yeah, I mean these guys, I'll take their frequent flyer miles for sure. They have made more trips to DFW than anybody, and they've been over backwards to play in this district. They came in late and they've performed, and hats off to them. And Parish, they don't look to me to be settled by any means. And I think as much as we throw compliments at Preston Stone, I think that's the kid that has set his sights on something bigger than just what this next game is. And and I think the team is following that leadership, and they're for sure settle up on that and ready to perform at the next game.
Well, and Forrest, you brought up that in every state championship year that Parish has won, they lost a regular season game. Coming into this one, you had the close game with Midland Christian. You had a close game with JP2. Both of those needing heroics by Preston Stone in the offense to win that game. And then you had the loss to Nolan Catholic. Granted, that was a road game. But it was almost like a reality check that Parish needed coming into the playoffs. Now, granted, it's been Bishop Lynch and it's been Prestonwood, and now Midland. 3 good wins, get them rolling, moving in the right direction.
Yeah, you know, you look back on the season and you can find those sort of defining moments in a championship season because not everything is going to go right. It's just the way it is. So I look at the come-from-behind victory at JP2, which was just one of the craziest.
Madness.
Yes.
16 points in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
I look at the Nolan loss. Okay, so now we know what we have to do to win. And then I look at the first half of the Prestonwood game last week. And they said, okay, if we don't go out and execute, this is what's going to happen to us. And they turned it on the second half. They came out here. Yes, they got a couple of good breaks right at the beginning, but that's football. You're going to get that. And then they never, except for the one drive in the second quarter where they kind of stalled out, and who knows, they may have been trying some plays out just to see what they could get because they knew what was going to work already. And after that point, it was game on, and they never let up.
Well, that will do it for us here in Abilene. A good win for Parish, taking this one down 41-7. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. For our crew, Emily Stowe on the sideline, Jim Dixon, Forrest Baldwin, and myself, Jackson Donovan. This game brought to you by Game On Sports Productions. We will be back for the state championship in Waco, where Parish will await one of the 2 Fort Worth schools. Until then, God bless.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the. Here comes the.
Benson inside the 25, inside the 20, foot race to the pylon. Christian Parish. Through the middle, leaps into the end zone, touchdown Parish.